welcome to another exciting episode of Wave the Brush with me, your host, Kris, aka Mini Wargamer Kris, aka The Name Butcher, aka Hey You, Get Off My Lawn. Wave the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and everything under the sun. First-time viewers, we do a lot of painting talk as well as a lot of what's under the sun, meaning no topics are barred. We'll talk about anything and everything. So be warned, we can go off on some pretty wild tangents around here. I say we, but really it's me just ranting and, saying what's what. Of course, if you are a first-time viewer, you can also ask your questions in the chat, whichever direction it might be in for you. And of course, if you're not able to attend live, you can always ask your questions at kris@miniwargaming.com. That is my email. It is in the description below. And if you have pictures, send them as attachments in the email. Don't send it off as links to other sites or anything like that, because it's just a huge pain, and I'm not likely to read it. Because it's a huge pain. First world problems, I know. So, also in the description below is a link to wavethebrush.com. That is the central hub of all this silliness. Has links to all these social media, as well as Discord. Discord's been fantastic, and it's a great way to stay in touch with everybody. And of course, conversations usually running on in there as well. So, a lot of fun. So join us there. Also, wavethebrush.com has links for Patreon support. If you want to help support the cause, and I forget the rest of my spiel here. It's one of those days. Patron, huge thank you to all my patrons. Currently support me. Without their support, a lot of the upgrades, upkeep, things like that, just wouldn't be possible. And so a huge thank you to them. And if you're considering supporting monetarily through Patreon, I only ever charge per episode of Wave the Brush. I do produce other videos. I don't ever charge for them. I only ever charge per Wave the Brush. So, and we only do this every Saturday or once a week. So, I think you kind of know what you're getting into if you're considering supporting monetarily. And if you're not able to support monetarily, that's fine as well, because liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing the video all helps as well. So, if you want to help, great way. Oh, and of course, wavethebrush.com also has links for t-shirts. Want to help support the cause? Look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy. They're wearing a Wave the Brush t-shirt. And of course, if you purchase yourself a shirt, be sure to send me a picture of yourself in your shirt, tastefully, of course, and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, because, this show is all about you guys. It's helping you guys, so this is all about you guys. And, I think it's just a lot of fun, Just a lot of fun. It's just fun. It's fun. Who doesn't want to have fun? This is a hobby. We're painting miniatures. We're supposed to be having fun, enjoying ourselves. So why not just continue to have that party spread elsewhere? And finally, a big thank you to Guymere Alfer, aka Carl, aka Beer and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out if you love yourself some beer and you love yourself some Blood Bowl. That's where it's happening. Beer and Blood Bowl. We always say thank you to Carl for taking the time out of his busy day to create the email jingles that play before the email segment of the show. And so, we always say thank you because, he took the time and, and it puts a smile on our faces, and, it's great fun. Is that the usual spiel? I'm a little warm in here. I moved off. You'll notice that the background is a little bit different today. This is my new layer. I posted on Instagram the other day that I finally finished moving. This is the layer version 2.0. Basically, I just moved to the other end of my basement, so you can kind of see a little bit different. I got some shelves going on right here, shelves, and painting area, and I got more of my art up. I actually got that Iron Maiden piece up. I know Iron Maiden's gonna be playing soon enough, and yeah, my hair. What's going on with my hair? My hair. So yeah, I'm in the new layer, enjoying myself. Although right now I'm right next to my dryer, so I don't think that's on anymore. But man, it kicks out some heat. I'm sweating right now. I'm tempted to open up that window there, but Who knows what kind of creepers will be walking by, or some creepy individuals. Maybe I should get like a black curtain or something like that. Some black curtains, black, like my soul. Who's joining us today? Ebb and Flow. Sup, everybody? Sup? Nurgle is love. Getting a swerve on before the flight home. Swerve. What's a swerve? Do I want to know? I don't know. I don't know if I want to know what the swerve is. Swerve? Is that a euphemism for something? I assume it's a euphemism for something. Damien Herbert, finally home, able to watch and listen. Awesome. Anthony B, Shotgun Beers, a.k.a. Nurgle is love. So exciting. I put a diaper on. Woof. That's exciting. You know you're prepared for a Way of the Brush episode when you're putting on a diaper. TH, hi all. Hello. MX Vivian Wolf. Hi Kris. I made it for the start of the video. Welcome. Is this the same Vivian who's joined us on Discord? Awesome. Welcome. Nifty VT, hanging out, doing nothing. Cool. Well, hey, that's how she goes, right? I mean, it's a Saturday, right? We're all enjoying ourselves. Maybe we're going to get some hobbying done, or maybe we're going to get some, house chores, or, who knows? Who knows where the day could go? Of course, we're sitting here listening to me ramble on about stuff, but, that's like every other Saturday. I mean, Dr. Xantos, hello. Hello. Brian Cheney, hello. Nurgle is love. This sucks. The Long War just went live. I'll stick to this. Greater of two evils. That's how my parents often refer to me. No, I'm just kidding. No, my parents were really great. As far as I know. I don't know. They're the only parents I ever had. Brian Cheney, I finally received my order for the entire contrast range last night. Time to get messy. Are you going to get messy? I don't know why you'd get messy. The contrast, I mean, if you're going to knock over your paints. I've seen a lot of people 3D printing like little holders and stuff like that to keep the bottles upright. I think that's pretty clever. I've seen one, it actually has a little arm to keep the lid back. I thought that was kind of clever too. Matt Lagori, like the new space. I like the new space too. The way I got my camera set up, I don't know if I can quite give you guys the full tour. Let's see here. Let's go this way. So it's closet space, shelves of crap over there, all sorts of crap. And then of course, this way here, more crap. That's a computer. And yeah. So how was I framed? Was I framed like that? I was framed something like that, right? So, and of course, I can show you, but I don't want to, because then I have to loosen that off. Because I got this thing sitting on a tripod, right? So I'd have to loosen it off. But anyway, I got all my books. You remember before I used to have all my books behind me and everything like that? Well, I got the books still one shelf, and then there's another shelf higher up, and that's got all my books. And it should be plenty strong. Here, let's see. Let's see if we can do this without messing everything up here. Let's go. What? We're going for a ride, people. There we go. It's all my books and everything. Those shelves should be plenty to hold that weight. If it all comes crashing down one day, I'm sure I'll post something about how about 100 pounds of books just came crashing down and destroyed all my stuff. But, hey. Where am I? Anthony B, are you going to see Iron Maiden? I am not going to see Iron Maiden. Not today. I know there's a big show coming up, and yeah, I'd love to go, but yeah. Nurgle is love. Contrast is great for tying base and highlights together. Definitely. There's so many uses for contrast. Just applying it right over top of a primer is just the beginning. There's so much you can do. Ghost to Starman Deluxe over on Twitch. I'm late. Just arrived at the holiday cottage in Scotland. I'll be staying in this week. Cool. Awesome. I'd like to see Scotland. I know there's a few of you cats that are in Scotland and such. I'd love to go check it out and enjoy myself. I'm sure at some point I will be back in the UK. Who knows when? Yeah. Vivian Wolf. Also, hello everybody. G Squared. Hey Kris. Hey monkeys. Hey Aaron Seach. I'll be seeing Iron Maiden in Chicago August 22nd. Yeah. A little bit jelly, Aaron. I'm a little bit jelly. Kevin Cabal. Hello, happening hobbyists. Happening. And to me, I've seen them a couple times. So good live. Bruce Dickinson always runs around like a madman. Okay. Kris, MX is a non-binary title like Miss or Mr., but for people who don't want to express their gender. It's pronounced like you'd expect. Mux. Mux? Like Mux? Mix? Mux? I'll just say Vivian. Damien Hibbert, going to go to the Goldmine Games soon to demo the new Warcry. Cool. Nick Dumont, Stupid Hobby Heroes. Stupid Hobby Heroes. Stupid Hobby Heroes? Eldari Lamborghini, good afternoon, monkeys. Good afternoon. Vivian, yeah, I'm the Vivian on Discord. That's what I thought. I mean, there's not too many Vivians who are showing up on my radar, so I assumed. And I assumed correctly. And I usually am not that correct. I'm right, but rarely am I correct. Nick Dumont, autocorrect. Nurgle is love, NB, or not you're cool. NBN. Nurgle loves all. Nurgle does love all. That's maybe why, of all the Chaos Gods, I like Nurgle. Is you would think, right? Slanesh, the god of love. God, that god, that's not the god of love. That's the god of excess, right? That's like, I'm trying to find something that is similar to that, and I can't quite think of it. Like, excess isn't love. That's closer to greed, essentially, where you're just kind of just taking it all in and just getting the most out of something, right? Whereas Nurgle just is love. Just wants to spread the love around. And that's why I like Nurgle. Nurgle's awesome. Nurgle's my god. Corn's too demanding. Shed blood every day. That's demanding. I mean, some days you got other things to do. Shed blood. And then whose blood? My blood? Your blood? He doesn't really specify. Zinch, you can't rely on Zinch. He's changing all the time. You can't rely on that guy for nothing, right? He's like, I think I'll be a cat today, and he's gonna be a cat. And, he's like, oh well, we had plans. We were gonna go to that dinner party, and no, all right, you can't rely on him. You can't rely on the guy changing his mind all the time. You can't rely on the guy who always wants to shed blood. It's very demanding. You can't rely on the guy who just wants everything, everything to be the extreme of everything. You know what I mean? Like, but whereas Nurgle, he's like, hey, chill with me. We'll have some laughs, right? Demons laugh, right? The demons laugh. His Nurglings, right? They chuckle, and they call each other by familial names, right? Papa Nurgle. He's the papa. He's your big papa, right? So, Nurgle's love. Nurgle is love. Nurgle is love. Exactly. I'm with you 100%. Nurgle is love. Nurgle is love. And Nurgle loves all. Nurgle is love. Ride to airport is here later. Have a safe flight. And if you're catching this afterwards, hopefully you landed at your destination with, your baggage. Because I know that's a thing. I actually don't fly that often, but, it's been a while. I used to fly a lot when I was younger, but not since I'm older. Not that things change. But anyway. Vivian, Papa Nurgle blessed me with the gift of a gender-based affliction. His love for me is endless. It was a silly gift to give, because now I find myself drawn to the changer of ways. Ooh, that's heresy. That's Nurgle heresy, if I ever heard it. But that's okay, because Nurgle doesn't really hold grudges, because he's all about love. right? Nurgle's love. So he's like, you want to go to the change of weight? Okay, go ahead. Right? Oh, you want to shed blood? All right, go ahead. You know? Because he knows, Nurgle knows, that eventually all come back to him because he's the Lord of Decay. Everything decays. He's the god of entropy. Nick Dumont, hi everybody, hi. Where am I? Anthony B, episode 260, spreading the love around. Spreading the love around. Charlie McCoy, hey y'all, just made it. Did I miss anything? No. Just talking about Nurgle love. Yeah. Twitchy Granos, hi guys. Hi Twitchy. Speaking of Scotland, yeah, I'd like to go. I'd like to go to Scotland. I think it'd be a lot of fun. And Charlie, yeah, you didn't really miss anything. I gave a quick show of my office space that it's changed. That's what I was gonna do. As a joke, I was gonna have the damn Marilyn Monroe backdrop thing in the background. For anybody who remembers, I had the TV, and then I had that Marilyn Monroe wall divider thing going on. I forgot. I was going to do that as a joke to have it behind me as a backdrop, because we were talking backdrops last episode, and so I forgot. I ruined it. And I ruined it by telling you guys now, because I could have did it last week. Wow. Anyway. Vivian, Nurgle is love. Nurgle is endless, pustulant life. Dr. Santos, best story about Nurgle to me was that on Nurgle's disease cauldron drank the whole ultimate disease. Nurgle just laughed about it. Yeah, I mean, come on. Nurgle's got laughter in there. The Corn, they're not laughing. You know what I mean? This, it's angry, shed blood. Change your ways. I mean, there might be some laughter, but, that'll change. You know what I mean? And Slanesh, there might be laughter, but I don't think it's the kind of laughter you want to hear. It'd be like, listening to Fran Drescher for 1,000 years. Just, oh my God. No! Dr. Santos, fell in, dang my brain today. Fell in, dang my brain? Ooh. Fell in, dang my brain today. I don't know what any of that means. He meant something there. Twitchy Granos, Scotland is fun and wet. Those are two of my favorite words combined. Fun and wet. I'm in. You had me at wet. Charlie McCoy. Forget Maryland. Where's the tinfoil hat? Oh, the tinfoil hat. I didn't get the tinfoil hat. Yeah. I don't have any tinfoil around, do I? No. I don't have my tinfoil. Matthew Perez. Good morning, everyone. How goes it, Kris? It goes. It comes and goes. Today, it's going. But later on, it'll be coming. That's wrong. Vivian, you convinced me. After Sisters, I will paint some Nurgle. Or, two birds with one stone, paint them up as Nurgle Sisters. I don't get ahead of that curve, right? Because I'm sure there are some Sisters of Battle who have fallen in their faith and found a new reality, being Nurgle, right? Aaron Seach. I like Zinch because it rhymes with my last name. Zinch? Hey, that does rhyme. Twitchy Kratos, you had me at wet. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. Brian Cheney. I see parallels between Papa Nurgle and Buddha. Both fat, laughing in their jolly ways. Sure, right? Except, obviously, Buddha, isn't trying to, give you VD or anything like that. At least not, I don't know. Now, mind you, I'm not that up on, Buddhism. But I don't think they're all about spreading diseases. So that might be one big difference between Nurgle and Buddha. It might be. I don't know. Again, I'm not up on that Buddhism. And it could be all about spreading a disease. I have no idea. I can't say for sure. Vivian, non-canon sisters have never been corrupted. Never? Never say never in the 40k universe. Never. Because, I mean, the devout sons of the Emperor turn all the time. Hell, half the legions turn to chaos. You're telling me devout nuns couldn't falter in their faith? You telling me in the world we live in today that every single nun has been pure in their devotion? Come on. Come on. Charlie McCoy, I laughed so much at last week's Way of the Brush. So funny. I like to think that every episode there's something to laugh at. You know, something. I don't know. I mean, eventually we get to some painting talk, but usually we end up just talking craziness. You know, and why not? It's a lot of fun. Lord Krabby, sup, Matterflowers? Sup, Lord Krabby? Excuse me. Sorry for whoever had headphones on and I just cough like that really, really loud. Vivian, crap, I googled it and I'm behind the lore. That used to be true, but apparently sisters have gone over to chaos in Demon Fuge and Cepheus Cain. Cepheus? Cialis Cain. We'll say Cialis. Vivian, I need to read those books. Yeah. There's lots of books. I mean, like, there's so much from Black Library nowadays. I mean, I remember, like, when Black Library just got started, and, you know, it was like, they were pumping books out every once in a while. It was, like, really cool. It was exciting and stuff like that. And then, at some point, they just started ramping up how much they're doing. And I think that's great. Don't get me wrong. I think it's wonderful. Because back in the early days, I mean, you know, there wasn't a whole lot, you know. And we craved it. We all craved it, you know. Nathaniel, Foley's sisters become dominatrixes, whiplashes, and all. Yeah, but I mean, like, they already have dominuses already in their canon. And there's already, you know, nuns running around with whips. Hell, nuns and whips kind of goes together because that's kind of, like, if you look into some history, nuns were using whips, rulers, all sorts of things to beat people with. Beat. I'm talking beat. And you want to get into some really touchy stuff. Imagine when, you know, them nun priests were beating the Indians out of the kids. Beating the Indian out of a kid. You want to go somewhere fun. We can talk about that sometime. Vivian. Oh, and Muriel Sabathiel is the champion of Slaanesh. I suck. Nurgle sisters, totally possible. Sure. Everything's possible in 40k. Everything. 40k, anything and everything's possible. Yet, it doesn't seem like that's explored. Right? There's a lot of rigidity in the way things are perceived in Warhammer 40k. You know? Like, all sorts of stuff. You know, they could go anywhere in 40k. Anywhere. It's a galaxy is a big place. TH, with the Slaanesh back, GW could have a good storyline for Corrupted Sisters. Sure. Right? Corrupted Sisters. I mean, really, realistically, what would Sisters fall prey to? Because, I mean, Slaanesh, sure. But Slaanesh, the immediate idea with Slaanesh, and I'm not 100% behind this, with Slaanesh, it always takes on a very sexual nature. And that's not what Slaanesh is. Slaanesh isn't the god of sex. Slaanesh is the god of excess. And when you read about Eldar and what led to the creation of the god, you realize that it's all sorts of things, and it's not just sex. It's the excess of everything. It's just everything. Just bring it all to new heights. Oh, what's everything? Oh, we want to go skydiving? Let's skydive, a million miles away from a planet and just come flying in and it's super fast. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the ultimate in sensory excess. Which in part, sure, is sex. But it always falls to that. And it's kind of just, it's such a narrow view of the potential for what could be explored in excess. I also used to really enjoy that band too, In Excess. Great band. I still listen to them. Listen Like Thieves, still one of my favorite albums. I listen to it all the time. I was just listening to it just before the show. Lord Krabby, Kris, what do you think about the Eisenhorn TV series? What do I think about it? I think it's fantastic. I've not read the Eisenhorn books. I don't know. Inquisitors, are kind of interesting. I like the idea in 40K. I like the idea of the Rogue Trader. The Inquisitor is fine because the Inquisitor is a very interesting individual because he's empowered by the Emperor's proxies to carry out their mission, their mandate, and they have full authority to carry out their mission in any which way they see fit, which is kind of amazing and kind of dangerous because that's a lot of power to one individual within the Imperium, where billions and billions and billions of lives are at stake. It's kind of dangerous, really, when you think about it. And of course, in the Imperium of Man, I'm sure the bureaucracy of the Imperium is probably just ridiculous. Like, imagine going to the DMV in the Imperium. Like, forget it. You'd die. You'd have to fill out the paperwork. Your great grandparents would have to fill out the paperwork so that you could get it by the time you're on your deathbed. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I imagine. That's how long it would take for things to process through the Imperium, because it'd be ridiculous. Especially in the highly populated areas of the Imperium. It would be ridiculous, the amount of bureaucracy that just, like, realistically, everything would grind to a halt. Realistically, in the Imperium, where you had a central government led by a central figurehead in one place in the universe, where you have to travel vast distances to rule on a subject matter that's occurring on the other end of the galaxy. Like, that's ridiculous. But that's the way an Imperium would work, because all decisions have to be made from that central point. That's why an emperor, a galaxy-wide emperor, just wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. It would have to be a collection of free areas combined in an agreement to work democratically together. Democracy and freedom would have to occur. In fact, it would have to be a united... It would have to be little states all over the place, and they would have to be united in their vision, in their virtue, or in their values, I should say, not their virtue, in their values, And of course, if somebody says, "Oh, you know what? F this, I'm out," and they can leave, right? Just saying, an Imperium wouldn't work. It would grind itself to a halt once there was billions upon billions. It just wouldn't work. Lewis, sapping and pick, guys. What have I missed? Nothing. I'm rambling on. Lord Krabby, Nuns reminds me of the scene from the Blues Brothers. Aaron Seach, what if you had orcs that said screw Gork and Mork and turned to corn, red chaos orcs? Sure, why not? Right? Like orcs, and red. But see, orcs already manifest their own gods. Because orcs, they don't need chaos. Their lives are chaotic as it is, right? In fact, they might even be the physical manifestation of chaos. And everything that they do manifests from their belief. So, why not? Nick Dumont, excess sex sells, excessive gluttony does not. So goes the weird kink route. Well, it goes the kink route. I don't know about the weird kink. Because, it's because it's like the leather and whips and stuff like that. That's pretty commonplace nowadays. That's not weird, right? 50 years ago, oh, you're into whips and leather? Ooh, you're weird, right? Nowadays, oh yeah, you're into that? All right, whatever. How times change. John J, no audiobooks while painting, Kris? Huh? No audiobooks? I don't get it. No audiobooks? No, I don't do audiobooks when painting. I listen to music. Because and I know there's a lot of people out there who like say turn this on while they're working on stuff and they're just listening to me. And I mean, like, I get it. And I'm just rambling on. I'm not talking about anything terribly important, right? But for me, I couldn't listen to a podcast where people were talking about something and I had an interest in it, right? Because it would be distracting. I wouldn't be able to concentrate on what I was doing. And same thing for like movies, because I know like there's like Steve, like when we were working with Steve, he'll have like YouTube or Netflix on while he's painting, and I couldn't do that because either one, I'm watching what I've turned on, or I'm working on my thing. Now, I listen to music because a lot of the stuff I listen to I've heard many times before, and I end up just kind of going along at a favorite part in the song, and then I'm back to painting, right? Kind of breaks up some of the procedures so I'm not getting bored, right? And that's it. I prefer music. Something that's kind of occupy the back of my brain. The parts of my brain that need to be stimulated, they're stimulated by the music. And then of course I'm wandering off in thoughts and whatever's while I'm just painting. Especially if I'm painting something that I've done a few times and I don't really need to think too hard and concentrate too hard or anything like that, right? But otherwise, no, I don't have movies. I don't have books on, because even like a audiobook, yeah, I mean, I couldn't concentrate. I'd be paying attention to the book, Lord Krabby, yeah, love your Inquisitor rant. It's today's world, but times that by 1,000,000. Times it by 1,000,000,000, I think. 1,000,000,000,000,000, billion. And I think you get the Imperium of Man, right? Nathaniel, orcs are chaotic neutral. I think so. They are, because they're not really that malicious. They're viewed as malicious, but they're not. They just love fighting. It's just, it's what they do. And when you read, well, at least it was in the original Necron lore, with the war in heaven, the old ones against the Necrons. And the old ones created 3 races: the Jokero, the Eldar, and the Krork, which sounds a lot like orc. And so you wonder, were the orcs made by the old ones? The Eldar, they hadn't changed in millions of years because they were already made that way. And same with the Jokero, right? I mean, all these races have not evolved. Orcs don't evolve, other than they get bigger and stronger. But does that mean that when they were first made, they were size of Gretchens, and then they fought the war in heaven like as Gretchen, or was it something else? Because like Eldar, same thing. Eldar in the lore, because they were made by the old ones, they haven't evolved. They haven't had to evolve, right? Other than their fall was because that was brought about by their own excess, right? So, and the Jokero is still pretty much a mystery, because they're just like orangutans, but they can build, super advanced technology, discombobulator rays and stuff like that. But, you can't communicate with them. It's kind of like Buddy from, anybody remember Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey? Remember Station? And that's how I imagine Jokero is, their station. And they might only have like one word, Jokero. They just say Jokero all the time. That's their word. It's kind of like Groot, right? Just one word for everything kind of thing. And, I mean, that'd be kind of fun, right? And in fact, a movie or a TV show about an Inquisitor, I think definitely should include a Jokero. Definitely. Just have him as a comic relief. Either be a guy in a monkey suit, or he's computer animated or whatever, and there he is, and he can, and basically he's a really fun plot device, because he can just make whatever helps get the Inquisitor out of a situation. He's kind of like a MacGyver. He's kind of like a pocket MacGyver. He's just, oh yeah, you know what? Oh, we need this, and he grabs a bunch of stuff and throws an avocado and paper cup, and he's got a bong, right? So, anyway, Lewis never tears apart. Has a saxy sax solo. Yeah, never tears apart. Yeah, of course. And InXS, man, was great. It was a shame, but he passed away. Anyway, Lord Krabby. Yeah, you're right about the galaxy-wide government. It reminds me of Stellaris, the game. StarCraft had a confederacy. So yeah, it's hard to maintain the galaxy at that level. So yeah, the Imperium won't work. No, I don't see it working. Like any kind of totalitarian type of system, dictatorship, anything like that, an Imperium wouldn't work. Especially because everything has to pass through one central branch at one point in a huge galaxy, and when you factor in distance and time, it's too far. It's too big. You wait generations for an answer on something, right? It doesn't work. The regions, every solar system should be independent, or collection of solar systems, or whatever, right? And then they should form their own little state, right? And they govern themselves. And then the next state governs themselves, and everybody governs themselves, but kind of like a U.S., there's like a Congress where all these states come together and make decisions that would affect the greater populace. Of course, that would take also generations to get, proper decisions and enforce rules. You know what I mean? Like, imagine trying to manage a galaxy-wide democracy. It would just be, forget it. Forget it. Dark Commission. Hey, Kris and Monkeys. Hey, Dark Commission. Nathaniel. Kris, did you redecorate your lair? Redecorate? No, I did not redecorate. I'm in layer 2.0. This is version 2.0. I basically moved my office space to the other end of my basement in my home. If you go back to earlier in this episode, you'll see I kind of did a quick little pan around. Oh, on Instagram, I showed a picture of this space. My wife convinced me to move space, and of course, she moved me closer to my washer and dryer. So it was just running just before the show started, and it was quite warm. Actually, it's feeling a little bit cooler now, but it was quite warm when I started this episode. I'm still sweating a bit. And for whatever reason, I thought basements were supposed to be cool. Like, people have basements. It's cool, right? And I don't know why, but my basement's always warm. I wonder if I have like a lava flow under me or something like that, because, man, it is warm. Lewis, I believe he did mention he was going to move stuff around last week as a kind of reset. Yes, I was going to just move stuff around in my office space, but then this room, we decided to do something with it. And so the room I was previously in, we're going to do something with that. That's going to be different. It's basically going to be like a guest room. But I'm thinking that for the time being, I'm going to turn that into, I'm going to occupy that space as well. As I'm going to, I've just been, had this gnawing of getting some of my paintings done, my canvases. And I've been getting really, really down about it. Honestly, like I've been just like, I've got to get more stuff committed to my canvases, and I've got to finish a bunch of my pieces that I've been sitting on for ages, and I've got to get them done. And so I'm going to occupy that space so I can start to get some of my projects done. I also picked up a whole bunch of materials because I want to try something out, something experimental. And I'm curious, this experimenting, if I see how it works and what it does, and you know what I mean. I do want to see if it can be applied to models. So yeah, so be watchful in the future. I might bust out something brand new on you guys, and I don't know if anybody is doing what I'm thinking of doing. I don't see anybody who has done this on a miniature, this particular thing. So, but now that I've thrown that idea out there, I'm sure somebody will get to it. Unless, of course, I do it today, but who knows. Reziel, I'm here, monkeys and Kris, back in the USA. You're back in the USA. From the USSR, well, Russia. It's not the USSR anymore, dummy. Reziel, whoa, station, whoa. Dark Emission, I think Tolkien said that orcs were once elves. Right. Well, that's according to Tolkien, but in 40K, it's alluded that Krorks, Krock, O-C-K, or O-R-K-S, Krork. Anyway, and I've often speculated that did the old ones make the orcs because basically the old ones had control over living matter and everything like that, and that's why like the Jukaro are brilliant little simple monkey things, right? The Eldar are these elves who, they use Wraithbone and they're psychically sensitive, and then the orcs are kind of psychically sensitive as well, but they can just kind of repopulate, right? And so they're kind of like they're cannon fodder essentially, right? Because if you're fighting a war as vast as the war in heaven apparently was, you would need cannon fodder. You would need it. You would need orcs to just, to die. You just need orcs to die. So, anyway, as awful as that kind of concept is. Urukai were the corrupted elfkin for Tolkien. Nathaniel, Jukaro equals MacGyvers of the 41st millennia. Yeah, they are. Jukaro are the MacGyvers of the 41st millennia. They're MacGyvers. And I definitely think that in the new Eisenhorn TV show, they definitely have to have Jukaro in there. Because it's too fun a plot device to help get him out of whatever kind of goofy ass situation he'll find himself in. So, yeah. Nick Dumont, orcs might actually be lawful. Thought to us, the martial power structure they follow seems chaotic. Although, to us, the martial power structure they follow seems chaotic. True. I think neutral. I think neutral chaotic. I think orcs are neutral chaotic because orcs aren't like they just want to fight. They don't care who. They'll fight each other, right? They just want to fight. Like that, that's just their programming, right? And so, it's like they're always perceived as evil, right? But they just want to fight. Just give them a fight. Just give them what they want. Just give orcs what they want. Lord Krabby, yeah, like the Galactic Union. I don't know. I think you hit the keyboard a couple times there, buddy. The Galactic Union. Yeah, a Galactic Union. Why not? That would make the most sense as far as how we understand space and time and distances and, of course, the idea that humans are just going to spread all over the galaxy like a plague. I think other aliens out there, other life, if we're the only life in this galaxy, then sure, it's humanity's, right? But if there is other life out there, other aliens and other civilizations, they might have a problem with humans spreading all over the place, and especially if we encounter somebody who's a lot more advanced and more powerful than us, and we're spreading around, they might see it as a threat against them, and decide, this weed is popping up everywhere. We're best just wiping it right out and keeping our garden nice and clean, and we could get wiped right out from a superior race, so. The idea of us humans spreading out into the universe, we should be careful about that kind of idea. We should be careful because that other aliens, because guaranteed the universe is old, and we don't know what's out there. There could be an alien race that's sitting there, and else, and they go, "Hey, geez, look at this! These creatures are spreading all over the place. They're taking over. They're spreading like vermin. Let's eradicate them like vermin, right?" You don't want to be perceived as vermin. TH, I thought orcs were a fungus in Warhammer. I think in 40K they're also fungus as well. They are. Yeah, Nathaniel. Yeah, they are. Yeah, that's what I thought. David Kincaid. Hey, y'all. Great show again. Still really wet in Scotland. And fun. I hope it is still fun and wet in Scotland. It almost sounds like a song. I hope it is still fun and wet in Scotland. Channeling a bit of Sinatra there. Raziel, GW Lore has a bunch of older stuff talking about if the old ones made the orcs, and they hint that the original orc hierarchy was the opposite, and the Gretchen types were the controllers of the rest. Yeah, I remember that one. That the Snotlings were the like the high up of the civilization. The Gretchen were the middle management type, the administrators, and then the orcs were the laborers. And so the Snotlings were like, you know, the kings, you know, middle management, the priests, and then, you know, and then of course the orcs rose up against the overseers kind of thing. I remember that one as well, yeah. Rezia, orcs are soccer hooligans. Wow, I almost couldn't spit that out. Soccer hooligans. Lord Krabby, LOL, human beings, the cockroaches of the universe. They're impossible to kill and their ideology is flawed. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you know, should take more of an enlightened type of view of possibly existing in a larger universe. Maybe that's why aliens haven't contacted us. Because they go, oh, geez, this is like cockroach nest just waiting to get kicked over and just spread all over the place. Maybe. Dark Commission episode 260. Pass me the cream. I've got a bad case of humans. Lewis, I reckon Necrons are lawful evil. Excuse me. I reckon that too. I'd reckon that too. Lawful evil? Because Necrons, they're all about order, but they're like, you know, they destroy all life. They want to destroy all life, right? Whereas, like, you know, Tyranids want to consume all life, right? So, Dr. Zantos, test, that was weird. The test was weird? I don't get it. Is that a joke? Nurgle is love, about to gay fondled by TSA. Joy. You're going to get fondled? Yeah? Awesome. When they're patting you down, tell them a little bit to the left. So, oh, can you get that itch right there? Just, oh, yeah, right there. Or when they start, as soon as they touch you, just go, yeah, as soon as they start, like, patting you down, just do one of those, like, you're just, like, you know, it's like you're hit by, like cold water, right? Just, that'll freak them out. Yeah, just as soon as they're touching you, just... Tucci Kranos, Kris, it is always fun and wet in Scotland. Always? I gotta go. I just gotta go. Dr. Santos. So anyways, this is just my theory, but I think something went wrong with orcs coding over the years, and somehow they ended up this way. Okay. Sure. Well, I mean, like, Eldar were created, like, according to the older lore. I don't know if it still is that idea for the war in heaven. That the old ones, they created the Jokero, the Eldar, and possibly the orcs. I speculate the orcs. It says the Krark, but I suspect it's the orc. But anyway, and I mean, yeah, like the orcs, the society, once the old ones disappeared, right? What happened to the old ones? We don't know. Because, as far as we can tell, they won the war, or, well, at least the greater part of the battle in the war in heaven, because the Necrons were defeated and go into hiding, right? And, you know, they've been asleep ever since. And so then everything else is just kind of, you know, gone on. So, I don't know. Stinky Diver. Orcs is apparently communist. Communists? Are they communist? No, I don't. I don't think they are. They're. I don't think they are communists, are they? They're not all for one for all kind of thing. Essentially, that's communism, right? Matthew Perez, Agent Smith. You move to an area and you multiply and multiply until every natural resource is consumed. And only way you can survive is to spread to another area. We are a dang virus. Well, yes, in our current iteration, and by that kind of analysis, humans are like a virus, right? But that's only because of the current methodology of how we expand. Whereas if we go about it in more of a conscious method and not in a greedy, all-consuming kind of method, you know, spreading to other areas, wouldn't be a bad thing. But maybe life wants to spread. Maybe that's the meaning of life, is just to spread the DNA around. At least on this planet, apparently is. Life just wants to throw DNA all over the place. Sticky Diver, Tyranids are neutral hungry. Reziel, a lot of Necrons are insane, though, so maybe chaotic. Most are mindless anyway, so alignment isn't too relevant. Yeah, see, and I don't like how they change Necrons to be psychotic and, we're goofy, and, I've got a collection of, you know what I mean? Like, give me a break. I thought Necrons were scarier in the older lore when they were pretty much being controlled by the Satan, because the Satan were star gods, essentially, right? They were these star vampires, and it was under they tricked the Necrons to give up their flesh, and then the Satan, because they're powered off of life force, life energy, they were going around the universe consuming all the life energy, right? And so, I thought that was cooler, because it was just this mindless death coming for you. Not, I'm goofy and I'm strange. I'm gone crazy since I've been sleeping for a million. Like, you've gone goofy because you were asleep for millions of years? Like, that doesn't make any freaking sense. Nobody doesn't go to sleep, wakes up goofy. Well, some might. But, it doesn't make a lot of sense. That, like, to me, the Necrons were scarier when they were this faceless, being controlled by these gods, and of course the living metal made sense because the Satan was the blood running through all those Necrons, right? Which gave you kind of this idea that maybe you could just kill the Satan, but you can't kill them because they're gods, right? I don't know. I like the older lore for Necrons. The new lore for Necrons, it's just, I don't know. It's one of those areas in the retcon 40k lore that I have exception to. Nick Dumont. Holy moly, it's email time. Holy camolies. Yeah, it's 1 o'clock. We're getting close to email time. Like there's a time for it. I just, whenever I remember to do it. Dr. Santos, geez Louise. Geez Louise. Geez Louise. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Geez Louise. Nurgle is love. I put on tie string drop down shorts to make it easy and quicker. Huh? Wait, I put on tie string, drop shorts, make it easy and quicker. What the hell were we talking about? I don't know what the hell we were talking about there. I'm kind of curious what real meaning behind Nurgle is love. What do you mean? Lewis, true. Maybe Necrons are too cool to fit any alignment. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the old way of, them being just this faceless death, I think was scarier. And might fit in more lawful. Nathaniel, always talking about that. Ebb and Flow. Kris, methods to get additional screening by the TSA. The new book available from Way of the Brush Publishing. Oh, methods to get additional screening from the TSA. Hey, you never know. Oh, that's what you say. Okay, I got you. Okay, that's what Nurgle is love is talking about. Okay. Yeah, just as soon as they put their hands on you, just oh. And, all right, buddy, you're coming with us. And you're like, woo. Can we get that guy? He's got big, meaty hands. The guy with the, great big... Anyway. Terracotta 9. Have you ever heard of anyone using calligraphy pen for applying paint or ink to miniatures? Have I ever heard of it? I'm trying to think. I think so. I think with the really fine nibs, I think I remember somebody talking about doing the actual calligraphy on like the banner, like on a Land Raider, and doing it with an actual calligraphy pen. Because using regular inks on miniatures, right? It's been done. Using pens, like fine tip pens, and applying them to miniatures to do panel lines, stuff like that, that's been done for many, 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 many years. And a calligraphy pen, yeah, I'm sure that's been done. I'm sure. Recently, can't say. But I seem to recall somebody talking about, yeah, they did it, like they did the Gothic writing, and they did it with a calligraphy pen, a real small nib, and they just wrote it right out. They were good at calligraphy, and they just wrote it right out on the miniature, which only makes sense, right? Instead of trying to do it with a paintbrush and trying, because a paintbrush isn't that same shape, and calligraphy is so easy. Because I've done calligraphy. I used to do calligraphy. I actually did this one piece for my wife. She was my girlfriend at the time. I had written her a poem, and I had done it on this big parchment sheet, and I had written it all out in calligraphy and everything like that. And I distressed it to make it look like it was really old, and yeah. Who knows where that is? Like I'm looking around, like I'm looking for it, like. Yeah, Kris used to write some poetry. I still kind of do. Not lately, though. Haven't been feeling it. Anyway. Stinky Diver. Kris, in reference to the communisms, I meant like the lowly grugs overthrowing their rulers. Oh, like you mean the beginning of communism, like when the people rose up against the czars. Sure. I mean, like, history repeats itself. And, that's what might happen again. You never know. The people need to overthrow the czars. Nurgle is love. Challenge accepted. I hope I make it in the boarding. Dark Commission. Nature abhors a vacuum. It does. Raziel. Yeah, that's the Agent Smith oversimplified yet seemingly profound observation. Humans are truly about potential. Yes. And yeah, I mean both can apply. It's really just kind of your outlook on things. Aaron Seach. Maybe the Necrons are pissed off just because they woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Sure. Again, I mean, like, but they're not pissed off, though. Necrons are goofy. They're mad. They're insane. That's the way they're described in the lore. They've gone insane through the eons. It's shit. It's complete shit. I'll say it right there. Right there. It's shit. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Who goes to sleep for a million years, wakes up, I'm goofy! Ha-ha! Like, come on. It was scarier when it was a star vampire controlling them and his blood is flowing through them all, animating them through his will, and they were just executing their master's orders, and they're just this faceless killing force moving through the universe, destroying everything. Kill all life, right? Kill all humans. That's far scarier. than I'm Goofy. Yeah, I'm going to kill you and put you in my magical box. And you know what I mean? Like, get out of here. Emperor's Champion, Hayuk. Good morning, everyone. Hayuk? What's Hayuk? Hayuk? Kind of fun to say, Hayuk. Reziel, Kris, it's just some of the Necron leaders that are kooky. Some of them are still lucidly evil bastards in control of legions of mindless Terminators. Either way, I didn't like the fact they gave the Necrons personalities. I didn't like it. I liked it better when it was to Satan. You know? It was far scarier when Nightbringer was an actual god roaming the universe with legions of armies under his control with starships and fleets and, you know what I mean? Like, that was far scarier. Especially since a Satan can almost take, like, any form and be any size. They don't have to be, you know, just a little feller. I mean, they can be a gigantic thing. It could be anything. Right? Nurgle is love. Necrons need to find a effing hobby. Lewis. Nemesor Zendrek. Definitely got out on the wrong side of the bed and forgot his pills. Reziel, I was at customs at JFK Airport yesterday after 9-hour flight with 3 little kids. I would describe it as a little slice of hell. Just a little slice. Just a slice. Just a little bit, you know. Anybody looking to get away from things? Yeah, travel with kids. I don't envy you at all. I used to dread taking when my kids were small. Oh man, I said, oh, okay, we gotta go. And when they've acted up, oh yeah, okay, we're leaving. I tell them, I said, if you guys keep acting up, we're leaving. And yeah, we'd leave, and I'd take my kids, and you know, I always followed through with whatever ultimatum I left them with. And if they didn't change their behavior, then I was going to follow through with my ultimatum. And yeah, and so now, when the kids are, you know, and they're being goofy or whatever, and I tell them, hey, do you question the fact that I'm going to do whatever I say I'm going to do? And they stop. They quit joking and, you know, whatever, right? So they know I'll follow through with whatever. If I say, hey, I'm going to throw that out, you don't want that? I'm going to throw it right out. I say, no, you know. Oh, yeah. I don't play. Where am I? Nurgle is love. You're still alive and not in prison? Emperor's Champion. Isn't that just socialists? Kind of. Aren't they? Is it? I don't know. All these labels. Labels. It's all labels. Aaron Seach. Necron shit. This is the same universe where mankind is ruled by a effing chair. Right. That's why it wouldn't work. The Imperium wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work. The only way the Imperium could work is if messages could be transmitted instantaneously. Now, yes, you're going to tell me that the astropaths and that can convey messages, but even in 40K, that's still not instantaneous in that universe. And you're talking about psychics, and if we're to extrapolate today and how we understand the universe and what is real, that seems very unlikely to be a solution 40,000 years from now, when there's a vast, you know, network of human civilizations all over the galaxy, if it becomes to that kind of thing, right? Because the vast distances, communication becomes very, very difficult. Of course, they always point to in quantum physics the spooky action. You know, as a possible means of communicating, I suppose. If it's even real. Lewis, I'm kind of disappointed by the lore route Necrons have gone, but they're still one of my favorite army. The models look great, and they have a lot of neat tricks up their sleeves on the battlefield. And I'm not disputing how they play on the tabletop, or even how the models look. I'm just talking about, they're basically their origin story and the personality of the army. I like it doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. Like before, Necrons were scary. They were Terminators, and Terminators, you know what I mean? Like in the Terminators, you don't see the robots talking. Well, they kind of do, but not really. And Necrons, I imagine the same way. Like they're Terminators. They're just coming around with their guns. Oh, life form. Boop, 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 boop. You know, oh, another life form. Boop, boop, boop. You know what I mean? And they're on a mission to kill all life. Which was pretty straightforward as far as villains are concerned, right? So I don't know. Emperor's Champion. Hayuk is the sound Goofy makes. Oh, yup. Yeah. Yup. Yup. Rezia. Oh yeah. So upside of being overseas was I could binge watch Star Trek Discovery. Not really Star Trek as us old fans consider it, but not awful. Well, the second season. The first season was a hot mess. It was all over the place. The second season wasn't bad. It was a little bit more exciting to watch, a little bit more fun to watch. It still wasn't Star Trek, other than in name and character names, you know what I mean, and place names, you know what I mean, like. But it wasn't Star Trek. Orville is Star Trek. Watch Orville. Orville's good. Star Trek Discovery is fun, but it's not Star Trek. Aaron Seach, episode 260. Just a little slice of hell. Mikey R, after a couple of years back in the hobby, I've just thinned my paint to the right consistency for the first time ever. Well, congratulations. And that's the kind of thing when we are talking about when we're painting, and I tell you guys to experiment and play, because it's important, because I can tell you how to thin something, how to apply it. You know what I mean? I can tell you what to do, and you can go ahead and do it. But it's until you start to veer off from what I've said and started trying out different things, do things start to click in your brain as to why certain things happen. Because for me to sit there and tell you how to get the answer, instead of you working out how to solve that answer, right? It's two different things. Because once you solve the answer yourself, you fully understand the reasoning behind this and that, and why things do, and why people talk about certain things, and why you should do it, and why you shouldn't do it. And it's not until you start to do these things and discover it for yourself. So it's awesome that you've found the right consistency. That's excellent. Because I'm sure in your brain everything kind of clicked. This is what he's talking about when he says apply this and this, and you know, yeah, definitely. Jobs Left Nut, episode 260. You know Kris will follow through even if he didn't mean to. Nathaniel, it would need multiple instances of artificial intelligence cores. And as the lore of 40K has taught us in the Dark Age of technology, they are set to wipe out humanity. Exactly, right? I would like to see the War of the Iron Men. I'd like to go to, what is it supposed to be, 20K? It would be Warhammer 20K is the War of the Iron Men. I'd like to see that. Give us like a board game of that. You know, the early humans with whatever level of technology they're at versus the intelligence, right? Or do you think they'd probably get sued by Terminator for doing that? James Cameron turns up and sues Games Workshop. That'd be funny. Mikey R. In Ursula Le Guin Hanish universe, the Ansible was based on two quantum thingies that when one spins left, the other spins right at the same instance. And you could separate them by light years, and they should still spin in unison. Yes, that's the spooky action. Yeah. The Ansible could transmit anywhere and anywhere in the universe. Yeah. That's a play off that spooky action. I can't remember what the proper term or what it's called. Spooky action is not what it's Like, that's what it's commonly called, but there's a proper name for what that is, and I can't. The name of it is escaping me at the moment. But anyway, yeah, that's the only way I could see vast distance communications in a Imperium of Man is that kind of communication device that relied upon that quantum theory. If that theory is a reality, right? Emperor's champion. The Necrons are on a mission from God against their will, or they should be. They are. They're on a mission from their god. The Satan are their gods. In the old lore, the new lore, they destroyed the Satan, which I'm not sure why they did that. Again, they should have kept the Satan as is. I don't know why they changed that lore. Like, why they made this whole thing about, them being crazy. Like, it's just... Is it quantum entanglement? Is that it? I think that's it. Quantum entanglement? Yeah, thank you, Dr. Santos. Yeah. I think that's what it is. It's quantum entanglement. It's basically two particles, to use the things, can spin in the same, and no matter where they are in the universe, they affect each other. Yeah. Again, it's that weird math you get into with quantum physics. Lewis, been trying the Scale 75 primer with an airbrush, but the primer comes off very easy even after leaving it for a few days to cure. I'm using Scale 75 airbrush thinner to get the milky consistency. Try not using the thinner. I'm not sure. I've not used Scale 75's primers, so I could not advise you as far as any kind of problems. Again, for airbrush primers, I've only ever used Vallejo surface primer and Stanores. I've not used Scale 75. I've not heard a lot of Scale 75's primers, so I'm not sure. Now, mind you, I like Scale 75's paint line, and I'm sure their primers are fantastic. And so I'm thinking that, yeah, it might be you thinning the primer down is why you're not getting good coverage. You shouldn't have, if it's an airbrush primer, you should be able to just throw it right into your airbrush. If it's not moving through the airbrush, you may need to turn the PSI up. Usually around 30 PSI is plenty good in most airbrushes. And also, your airbrush, if you're using like a broader needle, you should be pretty good in that regards as well. Again, I mean, I only ever use Badger airbrushes, and the Patriot 105, I use that for priming and basing, and it worked great. I've started playing with my Patriot Extreme, and I'm kind of digging it. I haven't really played a lot with its air control right underneath the nozzle. I haven't really had... I have not felt necessary to adjust that. So, but yeah. Anyway. But yeah, I would try not thinning the primer. You shouldn't have to thin if it's an airbrush thinner, you shouldn't have to thin it. You should be able to just run it right through the brush. Just turn your PSI up. And keep about, usual distance away, but 30 centimeters away. Nathaniel, yeah, remote quantum entanglement. Dr. Santos, I was useful. Yay! Useful. Dark Commission, episode 260. Come on, baby. Vibrate my super string. That's pervy enough that I like it. So, good call, Dark Commission. That's just creepy enough for me to like. And you all know Kris enjoys himself some creepiness. And I'm sure a lot of you out there get a little uncomfortable because Kris is being creepy. But you gotta remember, I don't care. Remember, it's my show. I can do whatever I want. I can be as creepy as I like. If you don't like it, you can always change channel. Change the channel. Like you're all sitting there with a remote. Oh, I don't like this channel. Click. He's too creepy. He's talking about Necrons. I don't know what Necrons are. Saleswoman from hell. Shit, I'm late. Like late? It's a bad joke, I know. Cock King 555 with the brush, episode 260. Burn baby spray? Burn baby spray? Burn baby spray. Burn baby spray. Or babby. Burn babby spray? I don't get it. Raziel, Patriot Extreme is awesome. Just leave the light. Just leave the light. Oh, just leave the little air control dial open, in my opinion. Such a beautiful airbrush. Yeah. So far, I've been enjoying it. I have noticed, actually, with the finer needle on it, I have noticed that the control is a little bit different. And in fact, I kind of like it. I find that I can come in a little closer with when I'm coming in for, for like kind of just being very deliberate on an area. Yeah, I find I can come in a lot closer with the Patriot Extreme versus the Patriot, where, I'm often just spray, like even if I'm spraying at about 15 psi with a really thin mixture and I'm just kind of tinting an area, I find it just like the cone, like, how like when you, okay, this is for everybody who airbrushes, but if you ever like pull back the trigger and spray, and you like it, when you're flushing the brush and you're spraying water, right? I often just spray in my airbrush booth, just spray it around the room, kind of thing, whatever. Don't do that. You should spray it to your overspray cup. But anyway, you can see the cone, how it comes out, right? And with the Extreme, I can see it's a lot finer further out. It's like a finer taper as it's coming out versus the regular Patriot. It's like that, it comes out like it goes a little while and then it comes out like that. Whereas the Extreme is more, it's a bit finer, and the cone is a lot smaller, tighter, toy. It's toy. I like it. So far, I'm liking it. And yeah, I'm enjoying the brush. I also have the Sotar I'm still playing with. I'm enjoying it. I'm finding it. It's pretty close to the Renegade Chrome. They're both the same size needles, they're the same configuration essentially, just slight differences. Lewis, thanks Kris. The reason I thinned it out is I thought it was a little too thick straight from the bottle. I usually work at 20-25 psi, so I'll try what you suggested. Appreciate the tips as always. Yeah, I turn the psi up to 30, keep about 30 centimeters away. Keep your brush moving as you're laying the primer down. Yeah, you shouldn't have to thin it at all. Raziel, sorry, just leave the little air control dial wide open. Oh, yeah, I already read that. Lord Krabby, episode 260. Hashtag not my Necrons. Dr. Santos, Necrons and orcs living together. Mass hysteria. Necrons and orcs living together. Mass hysteria. I messed that up. Maybe it should be orcs and Necrons living together. Orcs and Necrons living together. Mass hysteria. Yeah, there we go. That's a little better. Yes, it's true. This man has no dick. Well, that's what I heard. Anyway, I can sit here and bust out Ghostbuster lines all day long if you want. Lewis, only a few drops of thinner, about 1 drop for every 3 or 4 drops of paint. Wipe down plastic with iso alcohol and wear gloves to avoid fingerprints. Yeah, see, and I don't know why you would have that kind of issue with the primer falling off, and that's the only thing I can think of. I don't want to say Bad Batch. I don't want to say it's aliens, but it's aliens. But so yeah, I want to say it's. But I mean, if it was brand new primer, and this is your first time priming it, why wouldn't you just try it at its default? Right? Why wouldn't you just try straight in the bottle? Like, the thickness of paint, okay? Paint would have to be super thick, like oil paint. Have you ever played with real, like, actual oil paint? Oil paint is like putty. It's like Play-Doh, like thin Play-Doh. And that through an airbrush would need some help getting through. But like Citadel colors, like regular Citadel paint pot colors, will go through an airbrush just fine. They will. You don't have to thin them down or nothing. You pour bits of Citadel paint into there, and it'll move through the airbrush just fine. It's not gonna, because you have to turn the PSI up though to force it through. Then obviously it's not ideal. It's good for a base coat, but that's about it. You couldn't come in close to do anything with it. I'm not saying it's ideal, but it will move through. I showed that in a video like a long time ago. Citadel, regular Citadel paint right through an airbrush. I used the Patriot. I used the Patriot. Yeah, I say that like I could have been using anything else. I was only ever using a Patriot, and yeah, it moves through the brush just fine. So, Anyway. Rezio, oh yeah, more control and really smooth detail. Might not need my Sotar anymore. No, you still keep your Sotar because I think the Sotar definitely has a really great advantage because it has the blocker at the end. Because I don't think the Extreme has that catch at the end to stop the trigger movement, the brake, and I think that really helps, especially for artists who are practicing fine control. You're not really going to see a benefit to it a lot in, say, miniature painting, but if you were working on illustration board, canvas, that kind of stuff, you definitely would see an interest in that, where you want to maintain a smooth line as you were working on a surface. The surfaces we're working on miniatures are not even this big. They're usually like this big, right? And so you don't really need, you can usually accomplish that in a short stroke. So, anyway. Dark Commission. Necrons and Orcs sitting in a tree. Killing. Lord Krabby. Slanesh Demon talking to Inquisitor. Are you a god? The Inquisitor. No, Slanesh Demon. No, Slanesh Demon. Then die. Are you a god? No. When someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes. Kevin Cabal, I picked up the Patriot 105 and the Sotar 2020 during the Happy Birthday Ken sale from Badger. I also picked up the High Roller Trigger for the 105 based on what you said, Kris. Awesome. Hopefully it works out for you. Have you gotten your brushes yet? The High Roller Trigger, I like. I actually didn't put one on the Sotar. I kept the Sotar at its default just because, I don't know, because it's so thin and narrow feeling. It feels more like a pen. And I think one of the things that's really nice about the Sotar, because it doesn't have that back assembly like the Renegade Chrome. The Renegade Chrome has a full assembly on the back, which gives the brush a bit of weight and balance, whereas the Sotar doesn't feel as heavy. And so it feels a bit more like a pen, and you're holding it a bit more like a pen. So, yeah, it's interesting. Anyway. TH, Kris, did you get my email, by the way? Did I get your email? Are you... Wow, I don't even know how to pronounce your name. But I'm going to say you sent about your Blood Bowl... your Blood Bowl team? Is that what TH stands for? Is it your name? Man, I don't even know how to... Like, trolls? Troll? I want to say... Because the OELS is like Noel? Troll? Is that a play on words? Like, I don't know. I just don't know. But yes, TH, I did get your email, I think, if you were talking about the Blood Bowl. Kevin Cabal got both. Going to break them in today. Oh, you just got them today. Nice. Kevin Cabal, the Sotar is definitely quite light. Yes. And I like that. I like that it's got a light feeling to it. And again, that's why I don't feel it really necessary to change out the trigger for a high roller. I left it as the default trigger on it because I kind of like that pen feeling. And I don't feel like I'd be doing a lot with a Sotar as far as, doing a lot of, painting. Whereas the Patriot, yeah, I kind of want that thing to be comfortable because, you're doing priming, you're doing basing, you're doing this and that, and you know what I mean? And so you're doing a lot of work, right? Whereas with the Sotar, it feels like, yeah, it's a couple drops, bloop, bloop, and there we go, I'm done. You know what I mean? Put it away, clean it. So, yeah. I like the Sotar. It's fun. So far, I like the Sotar. But again, I've only been using it. Again, I've only been using my Patriot Extreme for a little bit. So, you know, so far I like it though. The Patriot Extreme, it's definitely because I've used my regular Patriot 105 for a long time, for many years. I've got a lot of experience with that brush, and the Renegade Chrome. I've got a lot of experience with my Renegade Chrome, and so playing with the Sotar, comparing it to the Chrome, is interesting. And playing with the Extreme Patriot versus the 105 is interesting so far, and I am seeing differences. Some people might go, well, it's not a lot of difference, but yeah, there is a bit of difference, especially when you're working in thinner colors and control, and it's really about control. Raziel, a pro tip for economy priced airbrushes, but really any of them is get lube. Yes, I bought the Badger brand, which works great, but really makes my standard Patriot a lot smoother. Yes. Gerard McGuire, how do contrast paints behave on a wet palette? Should you just draw them directly from the pot? That is a question. That's a good question, actually. Because of the nature that it's such a thin bodied paint, closer to a shade wash. It's not the same consistency as shade wash, but it's closer to shade wash than it is, regular paint. And should you have to draw it onto the wet palette, it's going to begin to absorb water, which is going to change its surface tension. So, but I don't really like to encourage people to paint from the pot, because again, you're leaving your whole pot open and you're drawing. And anybody who's watching any of the videos where I'm showing contrast, you'll see I leave the paint pot wide open and I draw it right from the paint pot. I always draw it from the lip. Yeah, sometimes I just dunk it in like a paint pot or ink pot, and I just dunk, and go. It's a bad habit. I don't really encourage it, and so I often encourage a wet palette. But in this instance, with contrast, because of the nature in which you're always working with the contrast, at least for me so far, it's often very quick applications. Grab a bit, throw it on, grab a bit more, throw it on, right? You're actually going back and forth from the paint pot to the miniature quite quickly. If you're going to do any mixing, anything like that, you definitely want to have a palette, and definitely, possibly a wet palette. But see, the interesting thing about the wet palette is that it introduces moisture, right? You're introducing water. And with contrast, when you start adding water to contrast, it starts to act funny. It actually gets kind of murky. So, do you really want to introduce water? Not really. So what's one to do? I mean, you're working with a palette with contrast. Honestly, like, if you want to work on it on a wet palette, by all means, but be conscious of the fact that as it's sitting there, it's drawing moisture in, it's drawing water in. It's going to change the surface tension of that color. But if you're going to mix colors, you definitely want to be working with a palette. Oftentimes in the videos I show, I'm working on a dry palette. I'm often working on a pane of glass, right? That's the palette. Whenever you see me in the videos, it's a pane of glass that I'm working on. That's only done just because of a camera for photography, so that the picture looks good, and and of course it's paint glass, so I can clean it. I blade it, once the paint's dry, I always blade it or Windex it, and like keep it clean for the next video. That's the only reason I use glass. Mind you, though, when in my oil painting, I always used to use a painted glass because it was easy to clean, because I could just use my palette knife and scrape the oil right off. And then since I've been doing painting videos, it's painting glass. But yeah, wet palette with contrast, that's interesting. I could go back and forth, and because I don't like to encourage people to paint from the pot. But for the most part, when you are working with contrast, you're usually sitting there pretty quickly, and then you just close it up and put it away. But because you're sitting there with your paint pot open, and you run the risk of knocking it over, right? which is why you should always work from a palette, right? Draw your color, put it onto your palette, and use that. Close the lid of your paint pot, and you have very low risk of spilling your paints. So there's many benefits to not drawing your color from the paint pot, and either working from a palette or a wet palette. Now, I've not worked with contrast on a wet palette, so I can't say 100%. But knowing what a wet palette and how it works and how it, introduces moisture into your mixtures, into your paint, because that's what keeps it wet, of course, right? There's got to be a good solution. I mean, I've made wash mixtures on my wet palette and use them fine. So contrast on a wet palette should be fine. Just going to introduce, and as long as you use it up fairly quickly, right? If you need to close it and take a break for a little bit and come back, you should be fine. But just don't be gone too long. Don't be like a week later and come back and, oh, okay, I'm going to use my color again, And especially if you are mixing them, definitely. So it's hard to say. You shouldn't be painting from your pipe pots for many reasons. But I have not used contrast colors with a wet palette, so I cannot give you a 100% answer as to whether you should or not. You should. I'm leaning more towards you should if you want. Definitely a palette. But does it need to be a wet palette? Hard to say. I guess really is in your work environment, your hobby environment. Is there high moisture? Is it high dryness? Is it is it really, really hot where you are? Is it pretty moderate? These are all environmental concerns as well, right? So yeah. Anyway. Nathaniel. I tried contrast paints on the wet palette and they became very runny. Interesting. Nurgle is love. Top of your wet palette should be relatively dry. If you have water droplets, soak them up with a paper towel before putting paint on it. Yep, definitely. Yeah, it's too much water. When I do my wet palette, I always just pour it onto the paper towel and then put the paper on top. So I don't ever pour the water right on top of the thing. And I've never seen water build up like that in my wet palette. Nurgle is love. I decanted mine into dropper bottles, so I used the wet palette just a couple of drops, and put out only what I used till the next 10 minutes. Sure, and that's why you want to use a palette, is so that you're not exposing your source, your supply, to the air and prematurely drying out, your colors. Emperor's Champion. I still use a dry palette for contrast. If it's detail work, I can load up your brush. Correctly. Yeah. Lewis, I agree. Citadel should move to droppers. Yes and no. Because there's a reason. I think this is why they do it. Citadel paint, by comparison to everything else, is a heavy-bodied paint. It's thicker. It's thick consistency. That's deliberate. Okay? Why? Because the paint is going to sit on a shelf. It's made in a central location. It's got to survive shipping to all over the planet, sit on shelves, and look good for a long period of time. And so that's why they use the heavier bodied medium, because the pigment doesn't separate as fast. Anybody who's very familiar with any of the thin body paints knows that the pigment separates pretty darn quickly. For example, Scale 75, Reaper, Vallejo, all those paints, you see the pigment separate from because of their thinner bodies. Citadel, not so fast. The metallics do really quickly, and the whites really do really quickly because of the nature of the pigments being used. They're heavier. But yeah, that's why. And so if they switch to a dropper style bottle, that means that the pigment body has to be thinner. The pigment has to be thinner. Unless, of course, you want ketchup style painting, where you're squeezing the bottle and you're getting a thick little noodle of paint. anytime you're squeezing something, applying force, you run the risk of exploding. You run the risk of it exploding on you, and that's no good. So, Lewis, was painty pots an unintended pun? Because they are a pain. Jabba's Left Nut, I watched a contrast video this week with Cullen. That was so funny. You're contaminating the paint. You're still contaminating. Do you not know how to clean a brush? Oh, when I was giving him shit about that? I could give all the guys crap about their painting habits. They all have bad painting habits. And it's amazing, right? Because you think... But you know what it is? It's because we don't paint together. We don't paint together. And so if we painted together, yeah, I could probably beat those habits out of them. Like a nun with a ruler. Gerard McGuire. Haha, I had the same internal back and forth. It's why I asked. Thanks. Yeah, I've not done it. I cannot say definitively good or bad, but I'm leaning more towards go ahead and use it. Just be mindful that the moisture is increasing. Lewis was painting pots. Whoa, didn't I already read that? Lewis. Underdog painting. Hi guys, hope everyone is well. I hope so too. Lord Krabby, 2 in the box, ready to go. We be fast, they be slow. Nurgle is love. Nice explanation, Kris. Makes sense. Reziel. No, Lewis, that was a typo. Reziel. So is contrast the Star Trek Discovery of paints? LOL. Star Trek Discovery of paints. In the fact that it's a hot mess. That it is not, it's paint but not paint? Is that what you mean? No. Contrast is, no. There's nothing wrong with contrast. I like contrast. And it's definitely going to be a part of my painting arsenal when I need them. Are they replacing anything? No. Well, maybe. Some clear colors, right? Glazing, things like that. Definitely contrast falls within that category. But otherwise, no. I mean, contrast, at least if that's what you mean by the Star Trek Discovery of paints. But I like contrast. I like the paint line. They're fantastic colors. I mean, if you've not tried them yourself, you have to try them out. And I mean, if you're going off somebody else's word about something, that's, then I can just sit here and tell you, we'll use them. And you'll use them. You know what I mean? Like, are you so weak-minded that, you know what I mean? Like, your opinion can be swayed this or that. I mean, try them for yourself. Make up your own mind. Find your path. Is basically my point, and basically what I've been expressing for a long time on this show, is make your path. Explore, play, find your path. Nurgle is love. You have to put 2 millimeter dilution of 10-part water and 1 part flow improver for each 12 ml pot for decanting. Works well. So you have to hold on. You mean you added to the contrast? You added to the contrast to move it into dropper? That doesn't sound very good. I don't know why you would. I don't know why you would. Saleswoman from hell. Kris is gonna spank them with his brush. I'm gonna whack him with the handle right across their knuckles. Yeah. Yeah, it won't be pretty at all. It'll be, what? You did that? Oh, I'm sorry. Lewis. He'll go Bob Ross on them and beat the devil out of it. Yeah, there we go. I'll just... Nope. almost said it there. Nope. Nope. Nurgle is love. The more clear contrast paints are so useful. The more clear contrast paints are so useful. Yeah, they're all useful. They're all really good. I like them. They make life a lot speedier, a lot faster in some instances. And they're really great for feathering and blending, and they're just paints. I don't understand people's resilience to them. Like, I don't understand that. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Raziel, it's just a joke. Oh, I know. I realize it's just a joke, but for everybody else out there who might be thinking that same thing as you, that's what I'm saying, though, and I'm addressing it for everybody else who's going, yeah, is it? Like, what is the deal with contrast? You know what I mean? Like, it's just paint. It's just paint. Nurgle is Love, Skeleton Horde, Magos Purple, Basilicum Gray, my top 3. You know what? I have not used Basilicum Gray yet. At least I don't think I have. I'm trying to think now. No, I don't think I have. Raziel, I checked them out. Can completely skip them and use an alternate item for the same effect. An alternative item. What item will do exactly the same as contrast? Singular. What one item will do the same thing as contrast? Like, what acts exactly the same as Citadel contrast? That's what I want to know. Because you can skip them and use an alternate item. Now, I understand, yes, you can use mediums, flow aid to get a similar thing, but it won't be the same. And I showed that in that video where I used the clear color and I used the medium and the flow aid to get a similar result to contrast, and it didn't work. I'm sure I could probably fine-tune it to get something very similar, but yeah. Nurgle is Love, 2 regular GW paints. It's the Star Trek Discovery to regular GW colors, yeah. Not contrast, no. Oh, that's to regular GW colors to put them into dropper bottles. Oh, I got you. We were on the contrast subject, and I was thinking contrast. I got you. Citadel colors, yeah, you're adding that to the paint to thin them down so they go into dropper bottles. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, that's seems to be the pretty common thing that people do. I don't bother because I couldn't be bothered. If I want dropper style bottles, I'll go buy dropper style bottles. If I want Citadel colors, because I'm working within a particular color line, I'll use Citadel colors. But oftentimes I use my Scale 75s, MiG ammo, Reaper, Citadel, P3. You know what I mean? I use them all. I'll use them all. And I'll mix them all. Whatever. Mix them. Because it's just acrylic. They're just water-based acrylics. Water-based acrylics are pretty much all the same, except pigment density and acrylic binder density. But otherwise, they're all the same. They all mix just fine. No, it doesn't break the continuum and I have to change alternate timelines or anything like that. That's a myth. Now I have to flashy thing everybody. Everybody look at your screen right now. Boop, bloop. Aaron Siege, looking forward to trying contrast. However, I'm not allowed to go apeshit buying 34 paints of paint until after the wedding. 2 more weeks. Oh, awesome. Aaron, do you really need to buy all 34? Why not just buy the colors that you probably are going to need? Or, if you're going to try out some, definitely I would recommend the browns. Skeleton Horde, Cygor Brown, Snakebite Leather. Those are 3 fantastic browns that achieve very different results, yet you could use them all in conjunction with each other for really great effect. But, yeah, I mean, yeah. If you were going to buy just 3 pots of Citadel contrast, those are probably the 3 I would recommend. I love Snakebite Leather. I love Cygor Brown. And Skeleton Horde just makes life so easy when dealing with the little bone elements. Makes life so fast. Just slap that on. Bang. Done. I'm done. Nathaniel, Kris is putting the tack through the handle, increasing the pain. Oh, putting a tack in there? That's awful. Lewis, +1 attack. +1 attack. Nathaniel, Kris, heavy pigment ink example, Royal Talons, if applied in the same amounts, effect is almost the same. I've used Talons, not their inks though. I've used their acrylics. Now I'm curious. Royal Talons, yeah, it's the same as contrast? Are you saying it's almost the same? Well, what's almost the same? But now I'm curious though. Interesting. Now are they transparent? Like, are they transparent? They're not translucent. They're not opaque. I'm talking transparent. Are they transparent? Because if so, I'll check it out. I'll do a comparison. I'll put it to the Pepsi challenge. Royal Talons. Royal Talons. I'm going to make a note of that right now. Royal Talons. I'm going to order some right now. Not right now. Well, maybe we'll do it right now. Where's Amazon? Let's go to Amazon. Amazon. I've been spending so much crap on Amazon lately. Jeez. Royale with cheese. Nope. That's not how you spell Royale. Royal Talons. There we go. All right. You said, what was it? Their inks? They're heavy pigmented ink. Ink. Where's the ink? Where be the ink? The brush pens? The liquid watercolor? Oh, we're talking ink, right? We're talking proper ink? Hold on, I'm going to type in ink. Ink. Whoa. Okay, so they got the bottles of ink, kind of like everybody else. It's acrylic ink. But is it transparent? Doesn't look transparent, it looks opaque. What's the light fastness? This isn't telling me anything. 17 bucks Canadian for a bottle of this crap. 17 bucks. Okay, hold on. So if you're trying to convince me that I should be using Royal Tannins Amsterdam acrylic ink 30 ml bottle, and I'm paying 17 bucks with free shipping through Amazon, and you're telling me that's a better alternative to contrast? On that price point alone, that fails. Now, mind you, I mean, maybe it's because I'm going through Amazon. Maybe it's, somewhere else it's apparently cheaper. But 17 bucks a bottle for 30 mils? I don't know. I mean, yes, in the long run, it's probably a better deal, but just to experiment, I've never used the stuff. I mean, I may never use it again. Seems a little much. Little much. Nathaniel, some of them are transparent. You need to look up the color charts. Oh, now I gotta look up color charts now. God damn it. Nurgle is love, but I don't want to open a rift in the warp by putting Vallejo in my GW Mini. Sure. Imagine how many Vallejo paints are on Golden Demon winning models. Imagine that one. A lot. Aaron Seach, I put my Citadel Air colors in dropper bottles. Just easy to load the brush that way. Definitely. Yeah, dropper bottles, definitely for airbrushing, definitely. I use a glass eyedropper, and I just draw the color. And same with like the contrast. If I'm drawing it out, I use a dropper bottle, and I apply it. Any thin color. Citadel Air, the contrast, the shade washes. What else do I use? I can't think of it. But anyway, yeah. Dark Commission, I mixed scale 75 in GW paint last week, and I'm just off now to feed my unicorn. You landed in the universe with unicorns are real? They were always real. It's this universe we had to move to that unicorns disappeared. That's why they're still in everybody's memory. Because everybody goes, I remember unicorns. They were everywhere. Nurgle is love. Gorgrunta fur is a nice brown. Yes, Gorgrunta fur is a nice one. Gorgrunta. Grunta? Gorgrunta. Gorgrunta. Gorgrunta? It's just a fun word to say. But see, here is the thing. I want all 34 because as an experienced painter, I know what can be done with them. My mind is in overdrive with paint schemes that I have in mind. I agree. But if you've not tried them, and you're a little bit leery, and so I don't recommend just buying all of them just for the sake of owning them all. If you want, go right ahead. I won't stop you. I won't advise against it. But, some people out there are like, I'm not too sure. Buy color that, the browns are always really useful. And I use the browns a lot. Doing pouches and belts, holsters, all that stuff, that goes to contrast, man. That's immediately already gone to contrast. That duty for my tabletop models, that duty is fallen to their duty. And yeah, contrast is just going to make my life easier in that regards. Just doing that little annoying little detail. So, Nurgle is love. Buy him if you... Nurgle is love, I thought you... No. Who was getting on the plane? I thought it was Nurgle is love getting on the plane. Wasn't he was getting on the plane? No? Anyway. Buy them if you're adding them to your lineup, but don't buy them to use them exclusively. If you're brand new to this hobby and getting started with contrast, it's not a horrible idea. It's not the most ideal because transitioning from contrast to opaque colors and it can be a bit of another learning curve. It might be another bump in the road kind of thing. It's not a huge issue. It's barely an issue, but for some people it might be. Especially people who are overthinking their painting and everything like that, right? Holy crap, 154. Are you serious? 6 minutes left of the show. We haven't even done an email? No, impossible. What have I been doing all this time? Have I just been rambling on all this time? Good God. Vasily. Hi, Kris and monkeys. Vasily. Welcome. It's been a while since I read that name. I know you're lurking about, but welcome nonetheless. Aaron Siege. Contrast just added to the arsenal. Definitely. Lewis, I have a small syringe I use to transfer paints to airbrush. Also works well when used to clean out the grav feed. Yes, definitely. That's what I do. I use a dropper syringe. I draw the paint in. I flush with water to clean the eyedropper out. And then when I'm flushing the airbrush pot, the well, yeah, I get like water and I'll suck it in and out, back and forth through the eyedropper. And yeah, that's how I flush my brush. Flush my brush. Vasily, is this a new mini wargaming office you're in, or are you at home? I'm at home in my new layer. This is This is layer 2.0. Mini wargaming office is always mini wargaming office, right? Mini wargaming office, right? Layer is my home, my layer, right? The layer, not a layer like a layer, right? But the layer. Frickin' English, right? Frickin' English. Confusing me. Dark Commission. Maybe unicorns and other mythological creatures can be explained by the Mandela effect. Look into the screen. Flash. Nurgle is love. The contrast browns are great for blending rotten bone. Yeah, waiting on flight. Okay, yeah. That's what I thought. I was like, wait. Oh, you're on the flight. Are you still watching this on your plane? Jeez. Crazy. You're crazy, man. You're crazy. Nathaniel. Lewis, use pipettes. Easy to transfer paint. Well, pipettes are the same as the eyedroppers. Oh, he was talking about syringes. But yeah, eyedroppers. I use glass eyedroppers. Because I use glass because it's easier to clean, right? Because I can have a little thing of Windex. Because I have two little things of water. One's fresh water and one's dirty water. The fresh water I always use for flushing my brush. And also when I'm conditioning my brushes, when I'm using brush soap, I'll dunk the brush into the clean water and then run it through the brush soap to condition the bristles. But otherwise, yeah, that's oftentimes what I do. Raziel, I'm just being honest that after using contrast, it has no real place in my toolbox. I can absolutely get the same effect anytime I want without buying that system to be happier with the result. Sure, by all means. I mean, whatever works for you, man. You know, like I said, like contrast, the concept of what you can do with it. Yeah, it's been around for years, right? Is it for everybody? Of course not. You know, they're marketing it towards newer people to achieve a result. Is it going to make you a better painter? Of course not. Right? So yeah, I mean, and if you have zero interest in the colors, I mean, I don't know how you can, you know, have no interest in what a color can do for you. I mean, I'm looking at these tannin inks, and I mean, like, I'm probably gonna get a set of these because just to play with them, you know. Because I've been playing a lot with inks lately too, so I'm kind of curious. What kind of coverage, kind of light fastness do they have? I'm really kind of curious. Not that kind of curious about the paints. Well, maybe that kind of curious. No. Nathaniel, yeah, Kris, you rambled a lot. I did, didn't I? Old Man Logan, there he is. Hello, Kris and monkeys. Better late than never. Did I miss the ramblings? Oh, you missed lots of ramblings. Holy crap, there's 2 minutes left of the show. I better hurry up here. Saleswoman from Hell, on the next episode, tour of Kris's sex lair. If only I had a sex lair. But no, pretty tame around here. I've got a painting lair and a way of the brush lair, and you know, I don't have a sex lair. If you say that really fast, it sounds like you're saying slayer. Sex slayer. He's a sex slayer. Ooh, maybe that would be my new title. Maybe that. We were thinking of changing the Xbox handle. Maybe that's what will make it. Sex slayer. Again, I don't know. Vasily, why is it 2.0? It looks different, but I can't say why. Because it's different. That's why it's 2.0. It's different. It's not the same. It's 2.0. I'm still in the basement in my house, but I'm in a different room now. The old space, right? Not the same. Like you'll notice, there's no platform around, right? Because remember my other room, right? All my things sat on the little shelves. Well, now I had to install shelves to, you know, put all my books and everything like that. If you go into the beginning of the video, I do a quick pan around the room just to kind of show you guys. It's more orderly right now. It's orderly. My other room was like chaotic, and the way everything was arranged, and that's why I wanted to. And I was talking about it last week about, you know, changing the office around, especially because I've been off all week. I was taking vacation time, and I was going to redo my office, and so then the wife said, "Well, why don't you take this room, and we'll change that to a guest room, and blah blah blah." And so, anyway, that's why it's layer 2.0. I don't know. Sounded cool anyway. Those specific inks, I'm not championing any specific brand. No, it was Nathaniel that recommended the inks, these Royal Tannins. Because I've used Royal Tannin before. I've used like their acrylic retarder, which is fantastic, but it's an additive. And that's one of the reasons why I always caution people about using mediums and additives. Because a medium will just change the density of the pigment, versus the additive will change the nature of the paint, because the Royal Tannin acrylic retarder is an additive, and it made my acrylic paint take a week to dry. So yeah, it really changed the paint, versus like say Vallejo's retardant, which is a medium, and it just simply slows the drying down, but still adds body to the paint. And so anyway, yeah. Twitchy Crano, sex layer, curious, fun and wet, Scotland trip soon? Maybe. Raziel, I used to have a sax layer. Sax layer. Vasily, Kris is the sex slayer. Kris is the sex slayer? Oh, man. No, don't say that. Saleswoman from hell, looks less crowded for sure. Yeah, it's definitely more open right now. I'm definitely loving my space, you know. And you'll notice too, like I changed. Oh, jeez, Louise. Sorry, everything probably just wiggled around a lot. I changed the space. You'll notice that my desk. I'm trying to follow my own advice, keeping my workspace clear of debris and extra projects. Now, mind you, I always say keep your projects out of sight. Mine are right at eye level, but that's okay. Because as long as it's not right here, because I'm like I said, like I can change focus, right? I can change focus, and I can, and try not to be distracted. And since it's like up here, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm concentrating here, it's out of my sight, right? So, anyway, that's it. Holy crap! 3 minutes after. Yeah, we better hurry up here. Nathaniel, episode 261 will not be streamed because Kris got arrested in excitement of public annoyance. For excitement of a public annoyance? Dr. Mission, I'm sending an email for the next show. Another angry woman for Old Man Logan to enjoy. Ooh. Saleswoman from hell. Guest room. Guests can sleep in the closet. No. I like to be hospitable when I'm having guests over, you know. I don't say, hey, just go sleep in a closet, you wanker. No, I don't do that, you know. So, anyway. Vasily, Lair, the sequel. Razia, my wife loves Chris's voice. I'd say he got mojo. Mojo? Sometimes I can sound like I know what I'm talking about. Sometimes I'm a complete idiot. But I've accepted that. Old Man Logan. That said, angry women are my jam. At Dark Commission. Oh man, look, you're too much, dude. Angry women are my jam. I just love them angry. Women are, and you know what? Honestly, I mean, I can kind of like. I realize we're joking, but there are some women that, when they're angry, they're prettier. Why is that? You know, does that speak more to your own foibles? It's like, oh, she's hot when she's angry. Okay, we got to hurry up and do an email because yeah, we're gonna run over here. Holy carmoles. So if you're wearing headphones, turn them up or down because here it comes. Let's go with the original, the OG. Email time. It's email time. Oh, it's done? Not even paying attention. Idiot. Like I said, can sound like I know what I'm doing, sometimes not a freaking clue. This one is from Dave from Scotland. Hi, Kris. Oh, the title is New to the Hobby. Hi, Kris. I'm rather new to the hobby of mini model painting. I only started collecting when the Warhammer Conquest magazine came out last year. Now, about 47 issues in, and I think I'm hooked on the hobby. I found your channel when I started painting and get great help from it, so thought I'd send some pics of my work to show you that you really help people like myself get half decent on models to the tabletop. I would appreciate advice on what army to start collecting to complement my Death Guard or Space Marines or both. All the best, Dave from Scotland. Cheers. He said there was pictures. Somebody said something about a check. Dave, buddy, there no pics. So I'm gonna send reply. Hi, Dave. Dave's not here, man. No pics. WTF. No ix. Nopix. What's Nopix? What the hell am I spelling? I never said I could spell. There we go. I'll try and keep it polite. No topics. No. No pics. What the frick am I spelling? Oh. Again, I'm not with it. I used to be with it, but then they changed what it was. Now what's it? It's strange and unusual. Oh, man. Jeez. Yeah, we've gone off on this whole angry woman thing. I don't know. Yeah. Saleswoman from hell. Krista likes some feisty. Confirmed. Feisty? I would say spirited. And not spirited like she's drank a whole bunch and she's all loaded on spirits. I mean, like, although that's kind of fun too. But anyway. I wouldn't say feisty. I think spirited. It's a little bit more. I don't know. Anyway. Next email is from our good buddy TH. I can't even pronounce your first name. What is okay here? Let me put it on the screen here. Your first name. Click the whole thing here. I'm at a loss for how to pronounce that. Trolls? Like, am I saying that right? Is it troll? Your name is troll? Like, is that legit? Trolls? Tirol? Oh, name butcher. Forgive me. This is from TH. Hi, Kris. I'll send you my third Blood Bowl team from my journey towards 10 fully painted rival, the Northwest Vile Things. The Northwest Vile Things? I already know this is going to be like, they're colored like the Patriots, right? They're the Patriots? Please tell me they're the Patriots. I have come to realize that I'm not a fast painter. Neither am I. That's all right. With every team, I learn something new, and maybe that's more rewarding than speed painting. Definitely. That is absolutely correct. Every time you learn something new, and that is rewarding. Than speed painting, than just trying to rush through and get the model done. Don't be in a rush. Well, unless of course you're in a rush and you got a game that afternoon or something, then you might want to hurry up and get your models painted. But try not to be in a rush all the time. I'm also mold line blind, but I'm working on it. Yeah. Again, the more like if they're gaming pieces and they got mold lines, okay, not a huge issue. Most likely, most people won't notice. But when you're taking pictures and you're looking to improve your painting, then definitely, because they can immediately take the viewer out of the experience, right? So, I didn't paint a single mini for 20 years until I began this Blood Bowl project. Great resources to get up to date. Thanks so much. Well, thank you. Thank you for watching. In less than a year, you and the community have helped me get much better results than I did as a kid. I know. When I was younger, I wish the internet existed. Well, it kind of did, but it wasn't like what it was now. And, I really wish I had a resource like the internet, because I don't know. Would I be a better painter, or would I even still be painting? Who knows, right? Who knows? But anyway. With every team, I try to push myself a little with just slightly new techniques and using some of the new hobby stuff that wasn't around back when. This time, the team is Nurgle, so I wanted to try my hand at glazing and washing in odd colors, along with some light kit bashing. In the 90s, you couldn't get green stuff where I lived, really. And the models were all metal anyway, so I never did much in modifications. I figured Nurgle to be forgiving as the first attempt. I mean, even if the skin looks a little funny, it still looks right. All the eyes are painted with fluorescent yellow, but it doesn't really pop in the pictures. Just imagine. I will just imagine. And thank you for telling me that they're fluorescent colors, because, yeah, fluorescent colors don't really translate into photos very well. But in person, my God, they look fantastic. Like, you do, like, fluorescent yellows and oranges as flames or engine. Go ahead, name butcher. TH in the comments. We'll just go with TH, because, damn. Oh, man. Okay, so let's have a look at his Nurgle forces, his team. Let's go with this one. No. Yeah, let's go with this one. This is all right. Really great looking flesh tones. Oh, I love the bruise. Like Buddy in the background. I love the bruising. I like the transitions on the tentacles in his mouth. Okay, so these are the Vikings. Their coloring is the Vikings. That's these guys. Oh, the North. Okay, I got you. I got you. Yeah, these are the Vikings. Oh, I really like your work you did on the flesh tones. I think for your metallic bits, like it looks like you got it going on the guy on the back left. You can see like a helmet, or maybe he's part of somebody else. I don't know. I think the metals a little bit more verdigris, corrosion, because I'm looking at Buddy on the far right. He's got that large shoulder pad, and I think I'd like to see a little bit more corrosion in the metals. Not too much, because I don't think you want to change the overall feeling of the color scheme, because you do still want to keep those nice strong yellows and the purples, right? Like it looks like the Buddy in the background with the tentacle mouth. It looks like there's some verdigris in the pox inside the armor. Really, really good stuff, though. Yeah, I think just a little bit of corrosion. If you can do it just like in the edges, I think, and keep it very, very subtle. Don't push it too bright. Keep it just kind of dark. Because yeah, you don't want to kill that color scheme, because that purple and yellow, it looks really great. The transitions and the bruising and stuff like that, and the belly and such, is really, really great. Oh yeah, you said there was a fluorescent orange. Yeah, see like the knee plate on the guy on the right? Yeah, like that a level of verdigris. Where you can see it, but the color is not too intense. These guys are really cool. Like the splattering on Buddy. Little lineman. Oh, and the eyes are the yellow, the fluorescent yellow. Very cool. Yes, I'd imagine, especially like I'm looking at the middle guy with the purple helmet. That probably just looks intense. Yeah, that's really cool, man. Oh, look at this guy. Yeah, I like your transitions and the tentacles in the mouth. I love the bruising around the wounds. Yeah, that's about it. I think just a very subtle verdigris in the metal. And I think that you totally captured Nurgle in this. Personally, I probably would have went with a gloss on the tentacles and stuff, but that's just me. I would not suggest it for yourself. Maybe just as a protection. Oh, look at the guy popping out of his belly. Like it's a ref or something, and he's caught in the belly. He's like, oh my god, he swallowed me. Very, very cool. Thank you, TH, for sending that in. Awesome stuff. Yeah, that's the only bit of advice that I would suggest for that at all. Otherwise, yeah. Yeah, Minnesota. Wow, I can read. Minnesota Viking inspired. I was trying to say Minnesota. Anyway. Yeah, Dark Commission. Very nice Blood Bowl team. Great palette and painting. Yeah. Well, that's the palette, right? I mean, he saw the inspiration for his Blood Bowl, and he wanted to do them like NFL. And yeah, Minnesota Vikings is that's what the team colors look like. Now, the other fun part is that you can go with, home team or away team color schemes, so yeah. Awesome. A lot of fun stuff. All right. We are going to quickly do one more email. I think this is the last email because, Dark Commission said he was sending one. I haven't sent it. It's Dark Commission, if you sent me an email, I have not received it yet, so. I don't know, snail mail? Snail mail? Is that a thing? Anyway, TH, thanks. Awesome. Yeah. That's the only thing I would suggest, man. That's the only thing. Otherwise, that looked fantastic. I mean, of course, you know, as you improve as a painter, you're going to want to push those color transitions a little bit tighter, be a little bit more deliberate, and, you know, rely less on the shade washes to achieve your effects and become more deliberate in your application and where transitions are occurring. Those are all factors in the future. But right now, getting back into it, yeah, I mean, you know, it looks fantastic, man. Oh, TH, vile things was supposed to rhyme with Vikings. See, I didn't. I. Right over my head, man. Right over my head. I'm not that clever. I give off this impression of pretty highbrow. No, I'm lowbrow, man. I still laugh at dick and fart jokes. So, you know. This one is from our good buddy Nick Dumont. Hey, everybody. Well, now I got the big guy base coated, and I'm playing around with contrast over the colors. Troll has orc flesh over Ogren camo, and knobs have some red over metallic. Ogre's metal parts are tan layer paints, highlighted up a little on the belt, snakebite leather, then Reichland flesh shade gloss wash. Like it, but want to go brighter on the highlights before the contrast. Thanks for your time, Nick. And so here is an update of his war boss that he's been working on. He has, there we go. He has been converting a Incredible Hulk model. Now, what was the model from? What was this Incredible Hulk figure? Was it just like a figure, or like an action figure, or was it like from a Happy Meal? Like, what was it from? I don't remember. Anyway, I love the big Gatling gun arm. I like the sculpting of his big boot. It's like The Simpsons. It's the wee kicking the bum. The big power claw is nice and scary. I'm digging it, man. The Gatling gun is almost like a name the bit kind of conversion there. Can you identify all those bits? Oh, yeah, that's I can see like on the edge of that backpack there where you cut it and you have like that kind of, you know, that rough edge. That'd have been great on the gun arm or any parts of him where you have like parts kind of like a rough weld. If you'd have done green stuff rough welding, that would have went really well. Okay, go back, strip it, and start over again. No, don't do that. Some Orky boys. Captain Hook on the left. Buddy with his punchy fists on the right. Oh, this orc has got some psoriasis or something going on. Might have to get him an ointment. Oh, look at this guy. I like that. I like doing the ogre like an orc. Yeah, that's fun. I like that. Oh, is that it? Oh, that was it. Oh, no, there's one more email. There's another email. Hold on. There is another email. Oh, Nick Dumont. The Hulk is a dollar store toy. The other one is a cake topper. Oh. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, hold on here. Let me switch. So I'm going to go to the other email because Nick sent 2 emails. Yeah. And so, no, there. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, this one first. Because I don't want to show his email. He says, I can't remember. I sent in the Hulk. I nodded for the Blood Bowl before he is. Straps and belts are plastic from the trays in the War Machine boxes. Simple trick, but I like it. Last one, I swear. No, I mean, Hank, I like when people send me their work, man. Oh, okay, and this is the other Hulk one. I like this. This is cool. Yeah. Like this whole pose and everything. This would make a good you know, Blood Bowl, like a Blood Bowl piece. Oh, and the straps, I gotcha. I gotcha. I like the hip armor thing. I don't know if it was necessary, though. I don't know if it was completely necessary. It feels like it's kind of just... Like, I realize, like, it's orcs and slapped on, but it feels like it's kind of slapped on. And I'm sure we could have probably did something where, you know, it's a little bit smaller and went with his legs kind of thing. Like, it was, you know, like thigh guard kind of thing. Or maybe because I'm thinking, like, he's like a Blood Bowl and, you know what I mean? Like, he's... But I definitely like it, man. I like that. I like him from that angle. He just looks cool. He looks like a Blood Bowl model to me, but I mean, as a boss or something like that, I mean, obviously he looks really cool. I like. Me likey. So thank you, Nick, for sending those in. Whoops. Wrong one. There we go. Thank you for sending that in. Awesome stuff. Yeah. Oh. We got even back from Dave. Oh, Dave, you sent me an email. There we go. Okay, really quickly here. Super fast. What time are we at here? Yeah, super fast. We're going to go bang, bang. And here is his paint jobs. I got this framed right? Yeah, I do. Really nice, clean painting. Like the gold. Highlighting on the armor on the Space Marine on the left. Looks really good. Looks like you put some transfers down, which is excellent. I like that you put transfers down. And it looks like you got them adhered pretty good on the model. The chaplain on the right, he looks really good. Everything's nice and clean. You know, I don't think you have to fret too much when you are applying a nice smooth base coat onto your models. You know, don't worry about throwing that edge highlight on, because I noticed like some points I see like it looks like your brush stroke went a little thick and thin, which tells me either you were doing it point down to get those edges rather than using the sides of the bristle. Shown that in a few videos. When you're doing edge highlighting, just use the sides of the bristles. Of course, that requires you to be very careful as you work your way around. But I mean, if you want to do the edge highlighting, feel free. I don't think it's necessary this early on, you know, in your hobbying. But if you want to tackle it, by all means, feel free. See, but like the Marine on the right here, he feels like you concentrated on the shading aspect rather than the highlighting. Or is it because you went with a different blue? Because I'm looking at like the dreadnought in the background, and like I like all the edging on it. It looks good. Larger surfaces tend to be a little bit easier for people, right? And really, I think that's where you take the opportunity to learn things. Oh, I really like these guys. I like these. These are really good. Nice and clean, despite it being Nurgle, of course. I like you got a nice lustrous metal on there, which, you know, tells me either you used the gloss shade wash or you laid the green down, applied your shade wash, and then did the gold afterwards. Or we're just very careful in your application of your shade wash. In either instance is fine. Like I said, there's many ways to get to the same result. But I like your work on these guys. I like the varying tones. And of course it's Nurgle, so it's kind of like orcs where you can kind of paint them in a haphazard kind of slapdash kind of way. And it works. And Nurgle's kind of like that, where it's very forgiving of being a little bit messy. But I like your work. I like it. Keep going. Keep going. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Why do I keep clicking the wrong damn thing? There we go. There we go. And we're back. Alrighty. We're almost at 2:30. I think we've gone a little bit over, so I think we're pretty much done. Nathaniel, why is left arm red? Is left arm red? Oh, maybe on the orc boy. I don't know. I think that's going to be up to Nick to tell us. Nick. Oh, there we go. Nathaniel, why is the left arm red? Nick, the character ogre for Blood Bowl made to look more orcs. His hips were rather plain. I think I may go and make a better leg armor. Yeah, I think just not the big plates. I think go with smaller plates and have like more of them. Kind of what's that? Plate mail, right? It's like shingles essentially. It's like, layers of plate. So I think that'd be kind of cool. More deliberate. That big faceplate thing that has like the big orkiness to it, I think that would make a better bum plate cover, or like a crotch plate cover, or even like a fist, like something protecting his fist. He's punching people with those things, something like that. I don't know. It's just ideas. You do whatever you do. You you do you. But yeah. Oh man. Anyway, all right. So, we are done for the moment. Oh, Dan, I got your email, but I'll read it next week. He's probably like, oh, want to do it now. And does it look good? Oh, yeah, look at that. Very cool. Okay, we're going to get to this next week. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like it. That's interesting. That's interesting, Dan. So, yeah, we're going to get to that next week. So, everybody, thank you for sending in your emails. Did I have that on the screen? Okay, no. I was like, did I just have that all on the screen? If you're brand new to the hobby, you need help with the color scheme, maybe something's not happening. Maybe you want a little bit of clarification on terms and, things like that. Feel free to ask your questions. I know that there are people that are brand new to this hobby, and you just want clarification on information. You just need a little bit of help. That's okay. Everybody needs help from time to time. Everybody. Feel free to ask your questions here. If you're attending live, you can ask them in the chat, whichever direction they might be in for you. I don't know. Of course, if you're not able to attend live, you're watching this after the fact, send your questions to Kris@miniwargaming.com. It is in the description below, as well as a link to wayofthebrush.com. Wayofthebrush.com has links for all the social medias and the Discord. Discord's been really fantastic. A lot of fun. It's a great way to stay in touch. So join us on Discord. Also, t-shirts. You want to get yourself a t-shirt, help support the cause, look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world. They're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. Just like this. And you'll find out at wayofthebrush.com. Of course, if you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt, and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine. Because, again, this show is all about you guys, helping you guys. Without you, there would be no show. So, And, of course, speaking of you guys helping this show, links for Patreon support are also on wayofthebrush.com. Patreon support has been fantastic. A huge thank you to all my current patrons who are currently supporting. Without you guys, a lot of the upkeep and things and expansions and just all the things that make the show really great wouldn't happen. And so a huge thank you to everybody who currently supports me. And if you're considering Patreon support, I only ever charge per episode of Way of the Brush, which is only done every Saturday, so once a week. So 4 weeks in a month, sometimes 5, or 3, whatever. I think you know what you're getting into if you're considering supporting monetarily. If you're not able to support monetarily, you can still help the show and support the cause by liking, commenting, subscribing, following, and sharing this video or any of the videos that I've done. They all help. So if you're not able to support monetarily, doing any of those things helps as well. They're a big help, actually. Ringing the bell. Because apparently people don't get notified when I'm doing this. So I don't know. That seems crazy to me, but whatever, right? And of course, big thank you to Guy Meir Alfer, aka Carl, aka Beer and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out if you love yourself some beer and you love yourself some Blood Bowl. Beer and Blood Bowl is where it's at. We always say thank you to Carl. for taking the time out of his busy day to create the email jingles that play before the email segment of the show. And so always a big thank you to Carl. Me love you long time. Long time. So if I ever meet Carl in the flesh, yeah, it'll be a me love you long time kind of thing. But like, you know, not like a full on creepy kind of, you know, me love you long time, but you know, yeah. Where am I? Saleswoman from hell. Very cool. Refuses to show the audience. Oh, well, you'll have to tune in next week because it looked. I've not seen that kind of paint job. So you're just gonna tune in next week, unless of course, you know. Of course, he's already posted it elsewhere, which he probably has, but either way. Pirate Captain Daniel, that's right. Keep the audience waiting for a week so they'll all return. Yep, exactly, because we got to wait for Dan's work, because, you know, yeah. Nathaniel, saleswoman from hell. Kris knows how to keep the audience intrigued. Dark Commission, Chris's cliffhanger. I know, we got to figure out how we can throw another K in there, right? Have 3 Ks? KKK? That's not good. Nathaniel, the patrons have just paid for Chris's Ferrari. I wish. You know what? Honestly, okay. Since we're gonna talk about things. Now, patron support has been fantastic. Don't get me wrong, it has been fantastic, and it is mostly just like upkeep and site maintenance, basically paying for Way the Brush. The patrons have been keeping it going. And of course, I've been meaning to do my giveaway. I haven't done my giveaway. And then I noticed a bunch of other people start doing giveaways all of a sudden, which is kind of hilarious because, I was just talking about that, a few episodes ago about doing a giveaway. And all of a sudden now a bunch of people are doing giveaways. I think it's funny. So anyway, I've actually been looking at, since we're talking about cars and, people paying for my ride, which, it's not really the case. But yeah, I'll show you what I've been eyeballing. Yeah, let's go with that. Right? Okay. Let's see here. Let's go this one. Yeah, that's fine. I don't like the ads running, but whatever. But yeah, that's what I've been eyeballing. I'll let you soak that in for a second. So anyway, yeah. I might have to get me that. I might have to. Just saying. Pirate Captain Daniel. Chris's cunning cliffhanger. Yeah. Chris is cutting. Oh my god. Nathaniel, 15 subs left. Nathaniel, almost 2K subs, 12K subs. Almost 12K subs. What do you mean? The patrons have just paid for Chris Ferrari. Almost 12K subs. Kings. Ooh, could you imagine? I'd probably get lynched if I did that to that car. Put a big crazy 40K symbol on it. Nerd! What a nerd! Nathaniel. Ooh, Mustang? No, not a Mustang. It is a Dodge Charger 68. I love it. Remember Dukes of Hazzard? That's the car. So, yeah. David Kincaid, nice car, go for it. Yeah, I know. The thing is, though, is like, okay, honestly, I have not been in debt for a very long time. And for me to get that car, I would have to put myself in debt. And so I'm not really excited about doing that. So that's why. I've been enjoying life debt-free. Pirate Captain Daniel, if you get that, you have to print the Way the Brush logo on the sides. Oh, man, I know. I'd have to. I kind of have to, right? I would have to. You know what, though? If I did that, I could write it off as a business expense. right? If I put the Way of the Brush logo on it, like on the doors or on the hood, maybe on the roof. Anyway, yeah, I've been eyeballing that car, and yeah. Nathaniel, the General, yeah, the General Lee, yeah. I wouldn't paint it like the General Lee. I definitely wouldn't put a Confederate flag on the top of it, but it's the same kind of car, and yeah, and oh yeah, you know what? Here, okay, here's the thing. Here's the one that just gets my blood pumping. That's a pic of the engine. That's the engine. Look at that. You can almost eat off that. Like, look how pristine that is. Like, it's amazing. Anyway. That's what I'm thinking about picking up. I've already contacted the seller. So, yeah. Aaron Seach, if you painted it red, it would go faster. Yeah, and I'd end up with a shit ton of or speeding tickets. Dark Commission, I was going to say Charger Classic. Yeah, it's a Charger. Nathaniel, I'd go for a 76 Ford Gran Torino Starsky and Hutch paint job. Yeah. Well, the other one too I was looking at was the Pontiac GTO. That's another one I was looking at. I seen one that was a convertible. I was like, oh man, it's such a pretty car. GTO, yeah, Pontiac GTO. Yeah. Anyway. Dark Commission, I want an AC Cobra. Dark Commission, but we'll never have one. I don't know. Could you drive one? Could you drive one of these muscle cars in the UK? I mean, I know you could, but could you? Because I mean, the streets are so damn narrow. Like I was walking around Nottingham there, and I mean, like I could pretty much do the splits across the 2-lane road. Like the streets are that narrow. If anybody who's never been to the UK, yeah, the streets, like you see them in the movies and how like they're just like sidewalks essentially, and like there's no sidewalks and people are walking everywhere. Like, could you have one of these North American muscle cars in the streets? Like, it'd be like driving down the street in a Humvee. Like, it's just, it'd be like a tank. It'd be a tank running down the street. Aaron Seach, Chris's personal protest against good gas mileage. Yeah, gas mileage, man. I mean, this car is only for good climate. I wouldn't be driving this in the winter, so it's a luxury buy. But yeah, anyway, that's what I'm currently eyeballing. I'm gonna make a move on it if it happens, and don't be surprised if you see a bunch of pictures of me in this car, and then of course followed by speeding tickets. Brendan Calvo, hey Kris, just got in a crash and walked home. I'm watching you to settle down. LOL. Yeah, I don't know. Here I am talking about speeding tickets, and here you are talking about crashes. Jeez Louise. And you've got to walk home. Good God, man, you're not driving drunk, are you? Anyway, yeah. Nathaniel, drive, yes, at 1 meter per hour. Jabba's left nut. It's not the streets that spoil it. It's the price of petrol. That too. But again, I mean, you know, it's not like I'm going to be driving a huge amount of kilometers in this thing. It's for burning around and you know, yeah. Dark Commission. Narrow streets give the illusion of faster speed. Nathaniel. In Germany, muscle cars are useless in cities. On the Autobahn, they can go wild and free. Yeah, see, now Autobahn in North America, guaranteed you'd have hundreds of deaths because people would just be complete morons on it. They're not responsible at all. Even on regular roads, people speed. Even on my street, which is a quiet kind of residential type area, and I've seen cars come flying through here, and I've thought, like, you idiot, like, you know, because there's kids, like, all over the place on the street. There's tons of kids. And, like, you know, I know one of these morons is going to come flying through and hit one of these kids, and we're going to have to give them the death penalty because, I mean, you know, you're a freaking moron. Anyway. Brendan Calvo. Coincidental that that is what you were talking about when I tune in. No, I just crashed about a block from home. Jeez. Hope you're okay, man. Well, I mean, if you're walking home, I mean, geez, you're not leaving the crime scene, are you? That's all I need is some guy hit and run, bang, jumps out of his car, starts hoofing her home, starts watching Way of the Brush, gets caught by the cops, and it's on the news report. Yeah, fled. He was apprehended fleeing the scene while watching a show on YouTube called Way of the Brush, and it's a big picture of me and you watching it on you getting handcuffed. And oh, good God. Dark Commission. Fun on the Autobahn. Oh, is it Autobahn? Autobahn? Is it Autobahn? I thought it was like Autobahn. I always heard it Autobahn, like on, not un. Anyway, I don't know. My German's terrible, so, you have to forgive me. Hey, Name Butcher. Chuck out Name Butcher. Geez, I better get off here. Because, yeah, I got stuff to do. And I've got canvases. I got canvases waiting for me in the other room that I've promised myself I'd get to today. I was going to paint. I was telling myself at the beginning I was going to take a break and I was going to paint. And I bought stuff in preparation to try out this new thing that I want to try out. It's kind of a fad right now. I'll chalk it up. I'm not going to spoil that, but it's a fad. And I'm thinking, as I've been watching it, I've been thinking about how it could translate to miniature painting. Because I don't think anybody's doing this in miniature painting. And there might be a reason why. Because some people might have tried it before and never worked. Don't know. But, yeah. Jabba's Left Nut. If you want the illusion of speed, I make go fastest stripes for half-lords. Halfords. Twitch Kranos. Well, that's one way to get advertising. Yeah, commit a crime. Oh, I was watching Way of the Brush, and it told me to go do this. Oh, good God. I'll have the RCMP knocking down my door. Oh, man. Yeah, so, anyway, I've done my closing spiel, right? We're done. There's no other pressing questions. Did we learn something? I have no idea. Did we even talk about anything constructive today? Or was I just simply ranting all day? I don't even know. But anyway, I'm going to get the hell out of here. I will see you guys next week. Same exciting time. Same exciting channel. And I know half of you went, Batman, in your heads. Oh, frick, what the hell? I broke it. I broke it in my toy. Oh my God. Why is it like that? Why is it stopped? Go! Just go! Why won't you go? Okay, now go. Okay, go. And go. I broke it in my thing. How did I break it in my toy? I broke it in my toy. Holy frick. Holy frick. You bunch of fricks. You frickety frick. Where the hell is my thing? No. Oh, there it is. Okay, now all the losers have cleared out of the room here. I just saw Piehead had posted here on Discord. This is kind of funny. So that's my car. That's my future car right there. And you know what? That's kind of cool, actually. I like the black chevron, or like the black chevrons there, and I think when they come across the hood, they should come down, pointing towards the central front edge of the hood. Because that's I think that's the way I do my chevrons for my Samhan stuff. Like, I like them on the side. That's really cool. But I think the chevron should come down, so they make a V on the hood. If you catch my meaning. So if you're gonna play around with some more Piehead, since you're the Photoshop master, yeah, definitely do it that way. Do it now. But yeah, you actually whipped that up pretty darn fast as I was talking about it on the show. I mean, do you just always have Photoshop up? Is that what's going on there? Is that what's going on? Twitchy Kranos was waiting for this. Was waiting? You were sitting here waiting? I know. But and you thought, well, he's just gonna do something. But yeah, I was showing Discord because, you know, Discord's a lot of fun. And yeah, I won't be able to jump on today because I got some stuff to take care of. But yeah, usually we jump on to Discord afterwards. I've already turned off this light. That's why my picture's darker right now, because yeah, I already changed it. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that with everybody, because anybody who's not on Discord, you're missing out on Piehead's excellent photoshopping. Anyway, go paint something. Go do something. Be productive. And my hair's been doing that the whole time. God damn it. Got this whole alfalfa thing going on. Anyway, it's warm. Frickin' dryer. That was the old lady's plan. She wanted to move me over here to where it's warmer. The warmer end of the basement. I knew it. She's trying to get me. She's trying to kill me. Anyway. Go be productive. Go do something.